Hey guys, Rich here. Welcome back to the RCINFORMER YouTube channel. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to try and unbox as much as we can here today. And if you guys don't mind, everybody watching, just give me a thumbs up or send me a little text. Let me know you guys are getting good audio. I'm showing on this side I've got a good green band up into the yellow on the audio, so we should be good. So let me know y'all are out there, you're receiving everything okay, and we will proceed. Lots of stuff to talk about today. Got cars, planes, and all kinds of stuff. Talk about the stands a little bit, my racks, because I'm going to be putting some stuff up there. So on my, all right, let's see, Tom Schultz is here. All right. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. So let me just let everybody get on board. We're going to get into a few things. I'm going to start off with, I got to go small and go big, but the big thing I'm going to be showing you guys today is the J-11. This is the sort of the China-only version, like the SU-27, although you can get these now here, which is kind of nice. So, and I got a link for that down below. If you guys go to the RCINFORMER, actually the Amazon store, because that's actually the only place right now you can sort of get it. If you guys go there, let me head to that really quick here. Let me highlight that for you. So mostly today we're going to be talking about, again, the J-11 right here. SU-27 is ready to go. We're going to get that out and fly it as soon as we can. And if you guys are interested in the SU-27, you can get it right here. So if you click my link below for the RCINFORMER store, it's not really, I'm not selling planes, guys, but this is where, it's being sold through. So if you go there, it's actually the first thing right here. If you go on there, you can see, I'll just click on that. And there's a bunch of FMS planes and all kinds of other stuff that I use in here. So any of that stuff you use that supports the channel, we appreciate that. But there it is, guys. If you guys want to get it, here it is. I think right now there's only a few left. They're going to go pretty fast. So, if you're interested in the SU-27, like that's right up here, that's where you get it from for now through Fair RC. So beautiful model, folks. Like I said, I got it up and ready to go. I just put it up there on a little stand display so you guys can kind of see it there. It's pretty slick. I'll go up a little bit higher, and you can kind of see how nice that looks. So, and the J-11 essentially is same airplane with different paint, but it's a China only. They only made these in limited numbers. I learned about this not long ago, and I was like, hey, can I show off one of those? And FMS was like, yeah, that's cool. So there we go. We're going to show it off. We're going to get to it last because it's big, okay? And I got to get, I gotta put little stuff together and then put them aside, and then we can go, and then I can show this on the table, because once it's on the table, it's kind of hard to move around places and stuff, because it grows up. It's a big airplane once you get it together, so it's pretty sweet. So let me see if I can get back onto here. I'm going to put this window. I'm actually going to shrink this window, guys, just a little bit live here. Let me get a little lower so it's not dominating the whole screen here. And let me get back to, let me raise this up. So again, that's available at Fair RC, I think it is, or FMS from my Amazon store. So please check that out. And other things that are in the Amazon store as well. If you guys get stuff there, that supports the channel. And that's all stuff that I use. It's not just a bunch of junk I threw in there. So let me see messages. Anybody got any questions before we get going? Because I think we're going to start really quick with this car here. Then we're going to go into the planes and stands and stuff. And let's see who we got here. We got 28 guys here in the house. I've got, yeah, again, Tom Schultz, Med Scott 2. Look here, I can see him in both places here. Let's see, Albert Burton's in the house. And let's see, go. Cheers from Toronto, as Roger K's here. All right, excellent. Brent Heilman, gorgeous. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm dying to get this out. But like I said, just because of the size of it, once I get it together, it's hard to maneuver around. And then I'm going to have this big thing. Where am I going to put it? I got to throw it. So we'll do the small stuff because it's easier. We'll talk a little about the T-28 and the P-51, which are flying awesome now. We put a video out of that P-51, and we got the T-28 coming out where me and Amy filmed yesterday. So she did a park kind of thing for me too. So, and you guys can see that if you guys go to the the RCINFORMER YouTube channel, which I'm manipulating on right here, and I'm going to throw it up here. If you guys go and check that out under, again, our websites here, you can see that we had a few of these airplanes out. There's Miss Amy right there with that airplane, or she was filming for me, and she did a good job. So we did that right out at the field. So there she is. And we did a great, it thing flies great, folks. And then we now have new batteries for it. We're actually showing off these China Hobby Line Black Series, folks. These are pretty nice. These are 1300 100C. There's Miss Amy right there. She filmed. She did a good job. And we got the T-28 video coming out here shortly. So, and if you guys want to, you know, kind of get a little bit of a close-up of that, I'll zoom for it so you guys can see. There's our China Hobby Line 1300 milliamp, folks. There it is. It's a 100C rating on it. So, yeah, there you go. High power. Really meant for a drone, okay? But it makes these planes sail, okay? So it's definitely worth it. You got to make an adapter for these, but these China Hobby Lines fit nice. 2-cell for all the small warbirds, which we're gonna, again, we're gonna get right into that. So this is their Black Series pack. So, and they're, like I said, they're pretty awesome. Little heavy, but not bad. Not too much more. They have a big XT60 connector, really for drones. But again, I made an adapter. We'll show you that. So, and that's really good for the little warbirds. So, but check out that video, the P-51, and then we'll be having for you guys the T-28 next, which we filmed yesterday. It flew great. The other secret on those is go to high timing. If you guys go to high timing on your ESC, you get a little more kick out of it, which is kind of nice. So, a little trade secret there. Could overheat your speed controller, so, you know, do it at your own risk. So, and I didn't have any problems with mine. So, and it seems to fly really well there. So, all right, let me kill this. See if anybody's got any questions. We're doing good on the speed. Let's see what we have. Brent Heilman's here. Let's see, Kelvin Young's here. Let me put this thing on here. We got Truck and Biker here. Happy Halloween. Gooniac's in the house. Howdy, people. Ray, do you see anything you like? Let's see. Ray's like, yeah, to put 2 burners in that thing. Yeah, we're gonna do that. All right, guys. I'm gonna throw this up there first because FMS is making some killer cars. I'm gonna start with a car. I know most of you guys are here for airplane stuff, but this is their. This has probably been like, this has been called the FCX24. This has been called like the most popular crawler like in the universe of cars right now. These things are pretty awesome. There's so many variations of this thing. And I got to say, for kids and everybody, it's a pretty awesome car. Like I said, there's so many incarnations of it. And Amy, this is the Power Wagon. She's going to be doing a video of some of these coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. She and I are going to get here and we're going to show you some variations of this car and how awesome it is. If you guys, again, are interested in these, if you guys check out my links below, I have links for all of this stuff for everybody to check out. And if you guys go to FMS Model, which I got a link for that down below, you can see all the cars that are available for this, all the different versions and stuff. It's pretty neat, some of the stuff. And I have some coupon codes down below that you guys can use. And but again, you go to Cars and Trucks, and you can see this new Smasher. Everybody's raving about it. Kind of looks like a similar truck we're used to from the 80s. So, but yeah, they've got all sorts of cars, folks. They've taken over the car world, FMS. So, you know, check these out. We'll go into this this car real fast because this has become this Power Wagon has become kind of like the industry kind of standard, and there's so many variations and colors of it that again, it's just a neat model. And I'm going to be you know, showing you guys more cars as time goes on. I know most of you guys are here for the airplane situation, but the cars are really cool. So let me check out my top camera here, make sure we're working here. It looks like we are in the house working here. All of these cars from FMS come with a really nice EPO crate. And then this one came with, you can see the instructions, and they come with a couple of, sometimes they come with additional bonus parts. I'm not sure exactly how or why, but they come with, some come with it, some don't. But you can see here that these are basically different gear ratios and stuff. So different gears, different suspension components that are bonus because a lot of these guys hop up their cars and stuff, and universal joints and stuff. Maybe they're just spares, but some cars come with this, some don't. It was a special promo. I'm not sure if they're running that with all of them, but sometimes they come with special stuff. But anyway, bottom line is there's a really nice EPO crate that these all come in. And then once you open it up, you have the cars all in there, and it comes with its own battery. Really nice suspension components, all-wheel drive. Some of these have 2-speed transmissions, and I believe this one does because you see a little servo right down in there. But nice tires. It's got a spare on the back that's in the package, but you get this. I think this thing pops right off. I'm not going to actually yank it off, but headlights all work and everything. And then down in the box, you've got a controller that you throw some batteries in. Let me pop that off. You can see forward, reverse. You can turn headlights on and off. You can switch gears with it. So a lot of really nice cars. Again, we're going to go into more depth in the car thing when Amy gets in doing this with me, and we got a special car. We've actually got a special car coming for her, and she's going to be showing some of that off. Actually, here's another free gift here, guys, from FMS. Again, some of these cars have this, some don't. It's sort of a random if they have them or not kind of thing. But you can see it's a free gift pack, some suspension components, and so forth. So they'll show servo mount and horn set, steering C hub, all kinds of stuff. I guess this is this might be a universal joint or a differential, an additional differential gear unit in here or something. But anyway, that's kind of neat how FMS is doing that. And then in here, oops, just dropped that. Sorry about that. And then here, there's a tire, and there's an additional, roll bar you put around this, battery, and a separate charger. So you can actually plug this into a USB charge. And then there's tools. So it's old style. I hate to use the term, but it's almost like my old Tamiya wrench here. So lots of nice features, folks, on these FMS cars that are coming out. They're just really killing it in the car department. So we're going to be showing you these to come here, more of them. Again, really, really nice. And I don't know if that top screws off. There's some foam stuck in here. But the level of details on these is awesome. And I know I showed one or two of these in, some of the other videos. But again, the level of detail, they're all-wheel drive. They have multiple gears, 2 gears. I think there's a 2-speed transmission in it, and so forth. So really, really neat cars. I just want to show it off real briefly. And we're going to compare and do a more in-depth of the FCX24 in a future video. So I just wanted to give this to you because Amy's going to do all that. She's digging the cars. She loves all the cars, and she's totally into them. So we're going to be going more into that. I know you guys are into the airplane scene, so we're going to get more into that. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick view of this. Really nice stuff. I'm going to throw this underneath here and just put it out of the way. There's almost too much detail to talk about. You can do all these cars in one car in an entire video. So it's crazy how much detail there is on that. So let's do this. Which car do you guys want to, or which plane do you guys? We're going to do this one last. Okay, this is a J-11. I'll give you guys a little teaser here. We'll get to this again towards the end. I'm going to go ahead and have a little sip of Coke here. Let's see what we got. Who else is in the house? Let's see. We had Guniac. We had Jepper. We would be in the dark without you and the work you guys do. Yeah, I try to show you guys the stuff that you don't normally see. I mean, there's, sometimes there's releases of airplanes and everybody's showing it at once, and it's like, all right, whatever. I'm trying to show something a little different, a little newer, a little nicer. I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to get this here in the future. Remember, the Su-27 was a China only, but we showed it. And now you can get it. So again, check out the link below for the RCINFORMER Amazon store, because if you guys want one, you can get it there. And then we'll be reporting more about a pop-up just came up. Now, what is that? Oh, it's talking about ads and stuff. We're going to be talking more about where you can get this when it becomes more available. So, but the Su-27 is going to be limited production, but you can get it now if you want it. So the link is down below in my Amazon store. So take a look, and there you go. So let's see. What is it? Who's this? So I'm looking at the note here, guys. Let's see. Chad Kunzinger says, what's up, Rich? Thanks for your hard work. Yeah, I'm starting to look into ADAS setups for And your F4 Phantom, yeah, yeah, the F4 Phantom is a rocket, man, if you put that on 8S. It's pretty crazy. All right, Jess Harris is here. And, of course, Guniak's checking this whole thing out. All right, here we go. So, we'll talk about this in a bit, but I'll give you a brief rundown of the box, guys. That's the FMS J-11. Again, the J-11 is basically a Chinese production version of the Su-27. They contracted, I guess, with Russia some time ago, a long time ago, and for them to actually produce it in China. So same airplane, but it's a J-11. That's the designation, you know, that they put on it. And most of this is in Chinese, guys. So I'm not going to even attempt to read it. Okay, but they got some nice. It's a cool dual tone gray. Probably kind of hard to see in an overcast sky, but dark on the top, light on the bottom. And we're going to get to this, like I said, right after we get to the small warbirds, just because of logistics of getting this moved around. Because once I get this assembled, I want to leave it on the desk. I don't want to move it around because it's big, and then I got to disassemble it and stuff. So it's easy to transport, taking the wings off and stuff, mostly, but it gets big and cumbersome. So we're going to show this last. We're going to get through the small warbirds first. It's got, here, I'll show you some specs on it here. Let's go. I'll kind of zoom in real quick. You can see it's 1,100 millimeter wingspan, 1,640 long. There's the weight, two 1,900 kV, 70 millimeter fans, two 80 amp speed controllers, 13 gram servos, that's for the tail, 9 gram servos, and there's your CG, 140 to 150, and that flies it pretty good. And there's your 70 millimeter Pro fans and a 5 to 6,000 6S pack. One 6S pack flies this thing around pretty nicely. It's got the speed brake and all that. So let's get to the small birds, and then we're going to go over this, okay? Let me throw this up here. Hopefully this will balance without falling. All right, yeah, it's just magically suspended in the air. So we're going to talk some small warbirds here real quick. This is my P-51 that we did the video of the other day and we talked about last time. The tightening of the linkages, okay, putting a clevis like we had talked about before on there that eliminates the play and all the surfaces. That's what makes this thing fly really well. All these little warbirds, you may or may not have to do that to it if they seem loose. So I had tons of play. I adjusted my play for my elevator, my ailerons, my rudder, and now these things fly like champions. So 2 speed tips for these things, 2 control and power tips. Tighten your linkages, number 1. Make sure that you don't have a clevis hole like this, okay, with a pin from a clevis going through it that's moving around, okay, because I found they used the little links on this. The clevis holes were big. It was moving around a lot. For a bigger model, not a big deal, but for a smaller model, you're going to get all sorts of play here, and it's going to be harder to control in pitch, roll, and yaw. So tighten those up. Number 2, actually 3 tips. 2, China Hobby Line. Once again, I'm running a high C rating drone battery in this, and I had to make an adapter, okay? It's a 1300 100C pack again. This is what I found really moves, okay, this thing around. I had a hard time with the angle of this thing. I got to think backwards because I look at the screen and figure out how to center this thing. 100C rated pack. You can get these in packs of 2. I got China Hobby Line links below where you guys can get this. And I had to make an adapter. Let me show you the adapter that I used, actually made. So it looks like this. You pop this off of here. There's the China Hobby Line right in there, 1300 2S. Let me put this down. This is what it looks like. I'll go into that so you guys can see. So I just made this. I fabricated this. I just had, you can probably buy an adapter like this, okay? But you basically just take your battery right here, plug that baby in, because I didn't want to modify it. I mean, it's hard to, besides with the gauge of this wire, I don't even know what this wire is. This wire is a 12 gauge or something. I don't know what it is. But again, meant for a drone, but I just made an XT, a JST connector adapter so I can use these batteries with it. Yeah, the big fat wire is overkill, okay, because it's not a drone, but man, it gives it a good boost of power with this battery in there. So the adapter really kind of paid off. So tighten your linkages. Use a good powerful 2S pack. And I also bumped my timing. I went into the programming guide, okay, for the ESC, and I bumped it up to the high timing. And this thing, I mean, it zooms now. I mean, it really kind of, now you could melt your speed controller and your plane could go down, so use at your own risk. But I've been flying it like this and it hasn't been a problem, so I just upgraded the timing. You got to remember, once you either hand launch or take off, this thing starts moving through the air. You know, the speed controller prop unloads, so it's not using as much. So if you modulate your throttle, if you go full out all the time and you're just racing around full and you never come off the throttle, you have a much better chance of, you know, smoking a speed controller or something. Then if you throttle back and do some slow passes and then do fast and slow, just modulate your throttle, use some throttle management, and you'll probably be okay. But again, don't take that to the bank. I upped the speed timing on the speed controller just because I want a little more boost. And we're going to have for you guys the T-28 video, okay, coming out here pretty soon. We did a small video the other day. I do want to do one more comprehensive, but I'll be showing this off, and this zooms. Same deal on this thing, guys, with the linkages. The ailerons were fine, but my elevator and rudder were loose. So I changed those clevises back there. I'll zoom in on that. I sent this off to FMS so they can look at this and they can kind of see kind of what happened, I guess. Not a big deal. It's not like they did really anything too wrong. It's just that for whatever reason, they were using the small clevises on this thing, okay? And you can see I have a larger clevis I put on the tail. And again, mostly the clevis has a thicker pin, so it fits in the hole. So check yours for play. If you guys buy one of these, use my link below, please. But if you guys find that you have a clevis situation, again, where you've got a hole in the clev or the horn, and you've got a clevis pin, you know, when it hooks on, and it's loose in there, it's going to give a lot of play. Again, on a big airplane, not that big of a deal. But on a small airplane, a little bit of play translates to a lot of resultant or resolution. Again, that's that word again. The resultant play or slop that you get in the control surface is pretty big for a little plane. So make sure they're tight. The thing will fly great. So reflex is working good with all these things, and we're gonna go with those. So in the meantime, I'm gonna put these sort of off to the side as we get. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move, here, let me move up just a little bit. I've been using my stands up here recently, and I'm going to throw both of these up here because we're going to need some space. You can see, guys, up around the top, I've been using, and I'm going to plug his stuff. These are all made in the USA, guys. Again, as you guys know, I've got all throughout my shop, I'm using these airplane racks in the background. These are all aluminum, okay, and these are coming from Flying Tiger RC right here in the USA. So again, all American made. I try to boost the American made stuff as much as I possibly can. And Guy Caputo over there, he does a great job with this stuff. These are really nice stands. They are a little on the pricey side, but they are really good. So I'm trying to locate where do I have, oh, there he is. Flying Tiger RC. Here, I'm going to flip this up there so you guys can check these out. Okay, this is Flying Tiger RC. You guys can go to his website. I got links below. I don't really make anything from this, but he sponsors the channel over there. And what these are really nice aircraft racks. And the reason I'm showing this to you now is because I'm going to put these planes up here. So and here's one right here. I'm going to take this, okay, and I'm going to throw this up here because I need to get them out of the way. And this is how I'm constantly doing stuff here in the shop, and I'm trying to remember how I actually put this up here earlier on. I'm going to try to put this, but I'm constantly moving airplanes around everywhere, shifting them, cycling them in different places, and a lot of these have really long arms to them, as you can see. So let me pull this camera out of the way here. I'll move this over. And so if you have multiple airplanes, and in fact, I'm going to pull the battery out of this one. You can sometimes put two of them on one. So. And that's actually what I'm going to do right here. I'm just yanking this battery out of here just to get it out of here, and let's see if that'll work like that. So you can see I'll often put many of these up here while I'm doing stuff, and you can put, you know, even more than one airplane on a single rack. So I thought that would be interesting for you guys to see. Again, these are all made in the USA, all aluminum, really nice. Some of them are adjustable. He's making them fixed, but Flying Tiger RC is where you get these at, and it's pretty simple setup, folks. And I'll show you this really fast. Again, Flying Tiger RC makes these racks. It's a real simple airplane storage system. They call it that. Mine have the adjustable end on it, okay? And then these are the wall racks, okay? I've shown these before, but I try to show these as often as I can because they're a very nice, very slick airplane storage system. So, and the way these work is these plug right in. Okay, you actually take this, you mount this to your wall. You see it's got 3 holes. I actually drilled 2 extra, 1 extra up top. Drill them into a stud, you line them up, you measure, and then once these are in the wall, you go ahead and you take these, you plug them in, you push them down, and they lock in place. And then mine just happen to be adjustable. Okay, you can kind of go up and down with them. Some are adjustable, some are not. It just depends on, and I don't know if he's even making the adjustable ones anymore. These were meant for vaulted ceilings, which I just happen to have, meaning I have an angle to the ceiling. So all my airplanes up here, if I go wide here, all my airplanes are actually kind of angled and sort of pinned up against the ceiling, as you can see, just because I have a vaulted ceiling. It's at an angle. You can see right back there. It kind of goes upward. You know, it's at an angle. So, or that way, I should say. So, anyway, that lets me get my airplanes up to the ceiling, out of the way. Again, fully adjustable. And these are really, really, really nice. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I think he's making mostly just the fixed ones now. But you'd have to go to Flying Tiger, you know, RC, to check it out. I got the link below. But it's a great U.S. company, Flying Tiger RC, and I'll zoom in on that so you guys can see. So again, made in the USA, like the Ernst manufacturing stands, flyingtigerrc.com. So you guys can check those out there. You know, as you scroll through and you look at the different you know, products or whatever that they have, you know, you can kind of see that. In fact, I'm going to try and expand my window. They've got transmitter trays, all sorts of stuff. And again, made in the USA. They've got these new landing gear tie-downs now, you can see right here, for large-scale airplanes. And you can see the airplane storage racks in the middle here. And then you can see they also have the transmitter trays right here, which are nice. So I just clicked on that just to show you that, so you guys can see how it looks if it's going to load up. So really nice all-aluminum transmitter tray. So pretty slick there, coming from Flying Tiger RC, and that's what I'm using to store all my stuff. So again, thought I'd show you that because, again, when I'm shifting stuff around like I am in the shop right now, sometimes I've got to move some stuff and I've got to put it up there, and you can see right there, everything's up there. And I've got more planes. Let me see if I can angle over to this side here. These, I threw a bunch of my other planes up here, and I've got some on the opposite wall, which I'm not going to go too far to, but you can see right here. I'll close the website. I still need to do this back wall, but I've been so busy at work it's hard to get to, but I'm constantly jockeying airplanes. And I'm going to be putting some of these racks kind of right up in this area too, so I can display more airplanes for everybody kind of right up in this area when I'm doing live shows and stuff. So the plan is to put a few more up here along the top, so we can put some more planes in the background, you know, as we're doing all of this stuff. So let me see if I can get us back here to where we were. This is my my upstairs room in the house. So I'm going to get us back down onto Earth here. And, but anyway, these are my adjustable ones. These angle up and down. And I think mostly now he's selling just the fixed straight bar ones. So, and then you can put whatever padding you want on this. These pop out. You want these kind of tight, which is good. But I'm using some of this stuff. You can use some of this foam stuff. Here, I'll zoom in. For padding to protect your airplane, you can use this like AC insulation foam and just run it along here, okay? You could use that for padding. I have some of them set up like that, so your airplane's cushioned with that. I also use this, this kind of foam tape that goes along here. You peel the adhesive off and you put it on there. You can get any thickness of this that you want at Amazon, and that's what I've been doing. I think that looks a little more streamlined. It's more expensive doing it this way, but it looks a little nicer. But if you have some of this cooling pipe stuff, that's enough to rest your planes on. And then, you know, they're all padded and protected. So anyway, check it out, guys. Flying Tiger RC. I'm always trying to help out the U.S. Companies. You know, Guy Caputo's the guy that makes these things, so, and manufactures them right here. So support the U.S. company. Check it out. And I'm going to be putting more of these up as time goes on to support more airplanes and all of that. So I've got links to this foam stuff, I think, in my Amazon store. So, and there's all kinds of foam tapes that you can use to kind of put under the wings, and then it will be good to go. Let me pop this back up here. I really didn't plan on taking all that down, but anyway, that was an old wing rack that we got up there. So All right, guys. Now that we've got some of this stuff going, let me see what comments you guys might have for me. Let's see. We had 47 guys. I appreciate everybody coming by. Again, thanks for coming. 38 people here. Now, let's see. We've got Jess Harris is here. Daniel Lyons. That scheme looks much better due to there being no bare foam. Yeah. Hey, Rich, any updates on the Albatross? Thanks. Yeah, it's right there. I've just got to get that motor on it. So there's a pilot shortage, guys, so I've been swamped at work. I hate to make excuses, but that's just the reality of it. I try to, sometimes I don't know I can do this live show until like the day before when I know nothing's happening. So that's why it's such short notice when I put stuff up, because I just can't, it's hard for me to schedule it. I can't like go like, hey, next Saturday we're going to have something, and then something comes up and boom. I kind of know the day before when I can do something, and that's why the short notice. Hey, that's work. that's just how it is, unfortunately. So Mike Bird is in the house. Brian Chambers here. The only one I don't have in my collection is that big, beautiful doll. Yeah, oh, okay. Of the 800s you're talking about, that's Brian Chambers. Good to see you again. That's Lacey Holzer. Let's see. Dr. What is that name? What is that? Dr. Mo Channel. So exciting. Okay, let's get some small planes out of the box. What do you guys want? The Corsair first or the Zero? You guys choose. We'll have a vote here. What do you guys want to see? The Corsair first or the Zero? Which one do you guys want to see? Very best live show for EDF. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. We got both to show you guys. We got the Corsair in the house, okay? 800 millimeter. We've got the Zero. Which one you guys want to see first? We're going to get it out of the box and slap it together real quick. These shouldn't take too long. These should be really easy ones to do. We're not going to do a full-on assembly, but we're going to snap it all together and get it for you. And then we'll get it out to the field and fly it for you. So the Blue Jet is selling on Amazon. Yeah, it is. And if you guys check, again, if you guys look at my link below for the RCINFORMER Amazon store, it links you up to them. And that way, if you buy one, it does support us as well. So we appreciate that, me and Steve. Zero! I got a Corsair vote, and I got a Zero vote from Jess Harris, 215 Cyclone. And I got another Corsair vote. I got another Zero vote. It's 2-2 now. I got a Corsair, of course. So it's a 3-, unless he voted twice. No, I got a 3-2 on the Corsair. So keep going, guys. We'll let it go a little longer. The Zero's getting edged out. Flip a coin. All right, you want to flip a coin? I don't think I got a coin here. All right, let's see. All right, so it's about even. The Corsair was winning, though. But you know what? The Corsair's here. Let's just do it. What the heck? Let's see. I got another Zero vote. Okay. I think you guys are doing this on purpose. 3-3. All right, let's see. I don't know. I got a coin. I'll tell you what, though. I like the Corsair. Corsair. I got another Corsair vote. I've got a battery. I can flip a battery. Here, let's see. I've got one of these little ones. Okay, so we'll be, all right, the plus side is heads, okay, and the tail is Zero. So what we'll do is we'll flip it here and see what we come up with. Heads, it's the Corsair, so plus sign is Corsair, and the minus side is Zero. So let's see what we got. Plus side is Corsair. There it is. Decided by a Duracell battery, and we're going to go with this. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to put this Ernst stand here. We're going to probably be using this to show off the planer and build it on. So we'll do this pretty quick. So, all right, guys, 800 millimeter Zero. I've never seen one out of the box. This will be the first time. It comes with Reflex version 2, as you can see here. And who we got? We got John, man, that's my eyesight, not you. John Barnsley, Jeff Powers is here, Buell and O. Let's see, EQ's in the house. All right, EQ, we're doing the Corsair here. All right, so 800 millimeter F4U2 V2. Again, we got the Corsair here, stable, rigid, all that stuff. Some of this stuff is a Chinese translation, so they don't always get it exactly right. So, but they do a nice job over there at FMS, of course, with all of these things. Features: 4-bladed prop, rockets and auxiliary tanks, reinforced main gear, 9-gram servos, 1700 kV brushless motor, durable EPO. I'll flip it around so we can kind of see the specs on this. Let's go. We got a lot of ground to cover here, so let's go with this. There's the V2 specs. Wingspan, 800 millimeter. Length 660. Again, there's the 20 amp speed controller, 17 amp or 1700 kV motor, 9 gram servos. There's 4 of them in there. Fixed gear, of course, and a 1300 milliamp 2-cell LiPo. So, all right, so let's get this thing out of here, guys. Enough talking. You fooled around. I fooled around long enough. Here, let's get this out of here. And I definitely want to thank everybody once again for coming by. Got a good viewer here, 45. That's pretty good for a Sunday in the afternoon. Let me pull this out of here. Again, I haven't untaped this or anything, so let me see if I can get our upper camera back in action. Let's see what we got. Let's try that out. It's all out of whack now. It's probably wobbling a little bit, so I'll switch you to the top view. Get this out. We'll save the box for box art. Just so y'all don't know, I've actually been saving these boxes for like years because I've been wanting to use them for wall art. I have them for like every airplane I've ever had. Some of them I have on a few walls, but I've saved a lot of them because I've been meaning to wallpaper the backgrounds and stuff. But I've just, again, delayed with things and get behind the curve. So we'll be having some wall art coming in several places here as the days go on. So let me go on to the top view, guys. Let's get, let me grab a hobby knife so I don't have to just tear all this. Let me go along the bottom, along the top here. We're going to cut these, get this off, so you guys can see what I see when I'm getting this out of here. So no tricks, no surprises, no fabrications, no alterations or deceptions. So we've got it all right here. There it is, coming out of the box. There is the wing. Let's see if we can get a little better zoom on that or get a little closer. Wing comes in one piece, just like the other ones did. Again, FMS detail, guys. Looks like I got a little bit of roughness here, so I don't know if that's going to be a one-off or not. The finish is a little rough right back here. I think they had a flap or aileron issue in the past. I think they used to have, yeah, there's a little bit of paint going on mine right there. So that's probably just a one-off, but I think that has something to do with the flap, or they might have had a single flap on this at one point. Maybe they removed is what they did. But you can see the underside of the wing, nice. Servos are installed already. And let's see what we got. We've got a little flex to it, but tongue and groove in the front. 2 screws we're going to install there. So let's get all these parts out of here. We'll put this here. We got instructions. We got a tail surface wrapped in foam. That should be ready to go. It has a little bit of a dihedral. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there. That could be a packing thing, but that's all right. There's not really a major spar in any of these tails, guys. So these can be warmed up, and they can be just kind of bent back if they're not quite straight. It's probably supposed to be straight, but it looks like it has a little dihedral almost. But nice quality. We'll put that inside. We'll throw all this stuff down here. Let's see what we got here. We got, there's a, wow, that's nice. I didn't know this had such a nice kind of little drop tank on there. That's cool. Under fuselage. Here's another one right here. There we go. Checking that out. Throwing all this stuff over here. Man, I'm going to have some trash to throw out later with these 3 airplanes. Missiles. I didn't know this thing had little missiles on it. You can glue all these in place. Wow, that's pretty slick. I'm not sure I'm going to want those on there just because, you know, they just create drag, so I'll probably leave mine off, but I'll put them on here if I can for the purposes of the video here. So here's our landing gear. Those just pop in place. We'll get into some detail on that. Let's put that down there. Let's go with the fuselage here. And the prop is taped down in there. Let's see, that's a 4-bladed prop. That might be the same prop on the P-51. I'm not sure. It may very well be. A lot of times they don't like to make things twice, but it could be. So there we got the fuselage. That's real nice. Tex O'Neill. Let's see, does that pop off? There we go. That's a magnetic hatch right there with our reflex in it. So that's pretty cool. Nice little mini CORSAIR. I'm digging that. That's cool. Nice little post-mounted engine there. All right, so let's do this. Let's get, let me make sure I got everything out of the box. Never throw your box out. Like I said, don't ever throw that thing out until you have, you know, thoroughly checked it out. Make sure you got everything out. Get your plane finished before you throw the box out, because sometimes little parts, screw bags, things, whatever, pitot tubes, whatever, they'll hide in that thing. So, so make sure you do not throw parts out. So, all right. I don't know that we're going to go through all of the clevises and linkages on this thing, because I don't think we need to assemble all that. You guys get the gist of putting that all together. So we're going to go, I'll tell you what, it's Halloween. Let's use this one. All right, this is Halloween cover. This is Ernst Manufacturing stand here. Let's see, let's get the fuselage on here. We're going to put this up here, and I'm going to get you guys, all zoomed in. These are cool. Here, check. Let's do a little review of the parts here. This is cool. Let me zoom in so y'all can see how nice this is. This is a center drop tank. I'm kind of surprised that it's got, you know, I mean, it's nothing great, but I mean, it is the level of detail that it has with that little, with those little carrier drop tank pins there or whatever, that slides into place. That's kind of nice. I didn't think this thing had like kind of all the detail that it has, but you know, hey, that's how FMS makes stuff, guys. They always kind of go to a little bit of a next level for getting their detail in there. Here's our horizontal stabilizer. I'm going to get in on that so everybody can see the detail there. You know, you got hatch covers and stuff. Again, it's a little airplane, so it's kind of hard to get too much detail in it, but it's got corrugations there, and it's got some panel lines, and same thing on the flip side, on the underside, and that's where your clevises, you know, are going to go. So when we have to attach those, you know, this is a little older school airplane. So, and then let's see, the missiles. Let's get to the missiles. There's a bag of missiles on this thing. I don't know if these are side specific. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not with some of these planes. But look at these things. This is neat. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit so y'all can see. That's cool. Little tiny missiles. I guess there's 8 of them. So you can really detail this up. Even if you just wanted this to be like a scale model for your desk or something, or just hang. I mean, it's really even nice for that. But we'll have it out there and flying it. Don't worry. We're going to get to all that stuff. So prop is super nice. There we go. Nice level of detail. Very well molded plastic propeller. Super, super cool. And then here, we'll get to the wing. I'll throw that up there. Throw it up there so we can see the detail. You see the panel lines, even with a little airplane, FMS really doesn't, you know, they don't disappoint. You can see the panel lines all in there. I got links below for all this, guys, so if y'all want to check this out. You know, I have FMS and Fair RC links down there, and also at Horizon Hobby for some of these things. Some of them are available at some places and some are not at others, so it just depends on where you get it from. And then there's the underside again. And you can see there's your points right here for your missiles. Missiles all fit into there. And then it looks like they used to have this set up. Oh, they do have it set up so you can take them off real easy. And then do they have the plugins for it? I don't know that they have the plugins for it. No, I just dropped some missiles on the ground there. Here, hang on. Let me go get that because I just dropped. I just dropped a missile way here on the ground. Where did it go? Hang on a second. I'm going to walk over here and get it. Hang on. I dropped one out of its container here, and it's over here on the floor. Hang on a second. Let me get past here. Get down under here. Yep, it fell down here somewhere into oblivion. So I'm going to have to maybe locate that later. That could be gone, but all right, well, let's see. We'll come back and search and rescue. No, I found it. Here it is. Yeah, I don't know. Those panels might actually come off. I'm going to have to mess with that. Let's see. These are, let's see. These, yeah, those look like those unscrew. Here, let me grab a, but I don't know if they have a plug-in for not having them on there. So I guess you can glue them on, because this is kind of like, they modeled this after the large CORSAIR. Let me switch to the top view. They modeled this after the large CORSAIR, where there was a missile rack you could take off. The same missile system here. And I wonder if they set this up. I'm kind of curious now. I'm wondering if they set this up to flip upside down. No, they didn't. Okay. I thought it was the kind of thing where you could put these on, but I think what you do is you can glue your missiles on here, okay? And then you can unscrew the whole panel and take it off. But in the larger CORSAIR, they always had a plug-in that you could stick here without missiles on it to replace it with. So I don't know that they did that here, but anyway, that's just kind of interesting how they did that. Because I'm looking in the bags to see if they have one, but it looks like they don't. So, but that's okay. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm probably not going to have my missiles on my plane just because I just like to fly it without it, but we'll do a flight or two hopefully with it, and that's it. So you always want to exercise your control surfaces, okay? Get them moving. You know, make sure they're fluid, because they tend to lock up, or they tend to freeze, you know, during shipping and painting and all that. They're laminated hinges, but you want to free them up before you have your servos moving them, so they're at least flexible. So they are a little rigid when they're new. Kind of like a new shoe. New shoes are kind of stiff. So that's just how it is. And that's what we got. So let's see if we can get this thing. We've seen the detail. Oh, this is nice. Here, check this out. I'll go to the front view here. You can see the the scoops up front for the cooling in the leading edge of the wing. That's really neat how they did that. That's some good detail there. Not super great, but you know, hey, for a little airplane, that's some good detail. So again, the panel lines and everything on the wing, super nice. Again, a little blemish right over here. I don't know, it almost looks like this used to be a flap or something, and then they got rid of it, and then maybe in production they did a little touch-up work on there. But aside from that, you know, the wing's pretty stellar. They did a nice job on it. So, but lots of detail. I mean, I got to say they did a real nice job, you know, on the underside of that whole thing. So let's take a look at the, let me put that down. There's our fuselage right there. There's our motor up front. See if we can zoom in on the detail there. You can kind of see how that sticks in within that radial. Might be scraping a little bit like right here. I'll have to take a look at that. It looks like it's turning, but it could be scraping the edge. That's just something else to look for anytime you have one of these like post-mounted style engines, you know what I mean? Because this engine doesn't mount up against a wall. There's a sort of a wall mount, but then there's a post it sits on. And there's usually 2 screws going in from the side. This may actually slide off somehow, which I'll probably mess with later. But here, check it out. For a little model, not bad. Detail's pretty cool. You can see it's got panel lines all the way through it. And there's our linkages. Did they use the old clevises? It looks like they used the ones with the little teeny tiny pins. So we'll probably have some play in those surfaces. So, but we'll mess with that. They got fuel tubing on it already. And again, we'll talk about that a little more later. We're going to get some of the linkages on. It looks like your rudder's installed. But again, make sure that thing moves. Make sure you got, actually that's really fluid. It's got a huge rudder on that thing, probably for all the torque. There's a little tail wheel on the back here. See that? Little tail wheel's mounted on there. It's got a little bent rod on it, so it's not going to come off. You don't have to worry about it. It's fixed down. And on the underside where the wing goes on, there's a couple self-tapping screws, holes that are going to go in, so we're going to screw that in there. And let's get our canopy off. Let's see what we got. Get in there, and you can see these are all set up the same way, all 4 of these 800 millimeter Warbirds. They've got easy connectors back there. So you've got your elevator and rudder back there, all set up and ready to go. Install those servos. You've got a reflex in there. So you need a tiny receiver to go in here, guys. You really need a little receiver. And all those wires, we'll pull all those out and get these things going. So pretty simple overall. So yeah, that's about it, guys. This reflex, oh, sorry about that. Wasn't even showing you guys that. I pulled all the wires out of here. The reflex is loose. Sometimes that can happen during shipping. You see the tape came off. You've got to make sure your reflex, okay, is secured in place on all of these things. Because if it's not, here, let me zoom this a little bit. I'll put this on me a little more. There we go. If your reflex is bouncing around, if you have an AS3X or any stabilization, if it's not firmly attached and you take off and it's bouncing around, your plane is going to be kind of out of control. So make sure it's secured. So always check any stabilizers you have. If the tape came off, you got to retape it or reglue it or use silicone or whatever you got to do, okay? But you have to make sure that it is fixed and not moving, because if it's bobbing around in there, you're going to have an almost impossible time flying it. It's probably going to cause a crash, so just make sure it's fixed. I think actually me now just pushing it down, it seems like it's secure, but make sure it's attached, okay? You got to do that. And really that's it. I'm gonna show guys one probably linkage to put on here. There's parts, I mean there's all kinds, there's tons of linkages on this thing. But we're gonna slap this together as fast as we can. I'm gonna use probably when I put this on foam tack to secure this in place. I'll probably remove, okay, some of this. Let me get this out of here. I'm gonna remove some of the, if I can, use some tape and get some of this paint off of the surface. Same thing here. You're going to want to remove the paint off of this surface if you can. So when you glue this with either CA or you glue it with foam tack, which foam tack is my go-to glue for this kind of thing, you want to make sure you're gluing foam to foam and not paint to paint, because sometimes you glue the paint surfaces together and those paint surfaces will peel right off the foam. So got to make sure it's secure in place. But otherwise, pretty simple. I'm going to put one clevis on. I'm going to use my Ernst Manufacturing little stand here. We're going to drop our parts in here. I'll go to my top view. I'm just going to drop all this in here. I'm going to use one compartment for this plane and one compartment for the other airplane so we don't get them too confused. And then probably one for the other. So there's all our There's all our clevises. They're all ready to go. I'm going to drop these in here. Okay. I'm going to put these in here. These are probably aileron rods. Oh, those might be spares, or I'm not sure. We got wings to put on. We got tails to put on. I'm just going to do one so we can all kind of get an idea of how these go on. So it's pretty simple stuff. We just got to pick the right size on here. And I'll just do one for demo, and then all the other airplanes are going to be exactly the same way, folks. So, but you got to add all the linkages or all the clevises on this thing. So these rods on the tail come in from underneath, okay, as we know, underneath the elevator. So these are going to go from underneath. This sits that way. So basically, we're just going to take these, stick these in place. You're going to do one at a time, and I'll just do this one again, just to say we did one for the purposes of this video, because we don't need to put all of these on. That would probably bore everybody, and everybody would probably leave the stream. So I'm just going to check real quick how I have these on here. There we go. And you want to make sure you choose the right length of screw. Okay, some of these things are a little different, so I'm just going to put the smaller ones in the back, which I have right there, and I'm going to take my little screwdriver. And I'm going to put this right in there and get that one secured and going into place, which I think it is. Let's see, is it going in there? Yep, I think it is. So let me pop that down in there. Again, this just takes some alignment. This is kind of something you can do while you're sitting around watching TV or something, or if you've got, you know, you got a little time to do some things. Let me get that, here, let me get that. Sometimes it's kind of a challenge to line up that hole with the screw, so just take your time with it. I think I just went into foam, and that's about all I did there. So let me see if I can get this one going into the plastic, which I am. I think that's going in there now. I'm going to take a slightly longer one and put it in the front. See if I can get that one going down. There we go. That one's tapping in. So essentially what you're going to have is just a little, I don't think that one's long enough. I don't think that one's even going in there. See, I probably just don't have it lined up right. There, let's try that. Lining these up is everything. Getting it into the little hole. There we go. Much better. That's good. And you don't want to go too tight with them. Just get them enough so that they're in there. And there you go. You have one clevis installed. Here, I'll show it from the top side. That's probably a better way to look at it. Sorry if I was shadowing the light there from everybody. But yeah, there's how you got it. You don't want to go too tight. If you tighten it too much, okay, you can start squeezing the foam, and you don't want to do that. So I can give you guys a little bit of an exploded view of what this looks like. I can take this, if I can pick this up. Essentially, you just have this. This is all I did. If the screw is too short, you know, you may have to find another screw, or let FMS know what's going on, that yours is too short. But what I'm doing is for the camera here, I'm trying to show you all this, this is basically what you just did. You just assembled this thing like that with two screws going through there. Foam is sandwiched in the middle, and that's it. And you're going to do this for the ailerons, elevator, rudder, and then you got all your clevises on. This was the old school way of doing it. This is still an old school style that they have set up for this thing. And like I said, the issue I was having with the other Warbirds, and let's see how this goes down, was that the clevises they provided, they went into those holes nicely, okay? But the problem is they moved around. See, they move around too much. And that causes a tremendous amount of play in these little Warbirds. So, and I'll pop it in from the other side so you can really see what it looks like. If I pop it this way, I should have showed it there way before. But as I get closely in on this, you can kind of see that that pin just moves in there, okay? So I'm probably going to replace these clevises with ones with thicker pins. Or what you can do, if you want to use these clevises are fine. I'll actually drop sometimes, drop a CA in there, or fill that hole with something, okay? And then re-drill it so it's a smaller hole. But whatever you do, bottom line is you want to have a tight clevis pin, okay, inside that hole so it's not moving around like this. Again, a bigger bird, bigger airplane, not going to be that much of a difference. With a little airplane, that little bit of movement translates, okay, into a lot of play. So get that out of there by either making the hole smaller so it doesn't have any, or put a bigger pin in so it doesn't move. So in either case, you got to get rid of that in these little airplanes. And then they will fly so much better. So that's what you want to do. So let's go a little wide on this. And we've got one pin on there, and we're just going to put this on. We're going to say we glued it. Like I said, I'll use foam tack and glue that in place. I'll put those clevises on first. Same thing with the rudder. we'll put our clevis on here as well. That's just going to go in the same way. And then we make our 3 clevis connections, and that's the tail being done, basically. So, and then our wing, pretty simple stuff. Again, this goes together in like no time. So, I have not, this is the first time I've had one of these guys. I've never had one of these little 800 millimeter CORSAIRs before. So this is kind of a testament to show how simple, you know, this thing is to go together. So, and then I'm going to pop that wing into place, and I'll show you that from the top. Here, let's see. I'll move it this way a little bit so you guys can see how that went. I'll pop it off again. You got a tongue and groove in the front. Just put that in the hole. Okay. Push this down, and then 2 screws are going to go right into there. And there are, they usually give you some spares, and FMS has given us these screws. So I'm going to put one in there. I'm going to put one in here. They're a little tight in there because they're actually threading into that plastic a little bit, which they're really not supposed to be. But let me do this. This screwdriver that I have is probably kind of small for that. But let's see if I can get, yeah, I mean, it works, but it's not as good of a, yeah, let me do this. Let me reach down here. Let me go to, let me grab another tool here. I have a better screwdriver for this. I keep a lot of this stuff in my Spektrum box because it's all in one place. And there it is. I'll take this one. Let's see if that'll work. Or what I need it to do. We'll go back to the top view here. And let's get this one rolling. Actually, you know what? My bigger screwdriver is actually better. Believe it or not. I'm kind of surprised, but that's the size of the screw head. I've been using these screwdrivers, guys, for more than a decade. Okay, these are my Turnigies. These 2 are indispensable. So you can see one of them's a 5 millimeter and the other one's a 4 millimeter. These have screwed just about every RCINFORMER demo model together, these 2 screwdrivers, so where you need Phillips anyway. So they've held up really well over the years, so got to hand it to the Turnigy guys for having a really good set of tools there. And they're inexpensive. Everything over at Hobby King, a lot of their tool type stuff. Let's see if that's going to tap. There we go. It's tapping into the plastic now. There's a little beveled edge way down in there, folks, where that screw grabs onto, and then they go, and you can feel it. You can feel it tapping in, trying to get a good angle, something not totally blocking it. Again, don't over tighten. You can tighten these buttons down to the point where they completely crush the foam. So, you know, just tighten it down to just before you see the foam moving, or before you see it compressing. And there we go. I'll get one on there. See, I'm actually starting to squeeze it a little bit too much, and I'll demonstrate it here. You can see I got a little bit of creasing right down there. If you start seeing that creasing, you've gone a little too much, so just stop right there, and then do the same with the other. And then often what I'll do is I will check to see on this side that I've got a good seam right here. I'll put my finger up there as I'm tightening it, and you can feel that it went together really well. So let's switch to our other view, and you guys can see. CORSAIR is pretty much almost together now. Again, you're going to put your clevises on your ailerons here. Again, remember, it's going to go on your ailerons, both ailerons, on both sides, both elevator halves, okay? And then your vertical. You're going to have one right on there, and then you connect all your clevises, and you're good to go. So you see, it's almost done. I mean, we're about finished with the whole thing. So the next thing I'm going to do is just put on it the landing gear. And the landing gear is pretty simple. Don't trash your plane the way I did with my P-51. My P-51, I put a big scratch on the underside of it just because I didn't realize it was going to slip on me, and it did slip on me. So all you do to put your landing gear on, it's pretty simple stuff, folks. All you have to do is, you can see this clevis, this little clamp system here. This is an older style, but it always works real well. So you can leave it like this and hand launch, belly land the airplane. And then here, you just take this, slide it into place. See if I can get that in there. There we go. And then you just kind of rotate this forward. And then this is like a catch mechanism right here, where you can just take this thing and snap it shut, and that's it. See, your landing gear is mounted, it's in place, and it's ready to go. It's that simple, and it comes off that fast. You want to put a little bit of foam tack right there on the E-ring to keep that E-ring from coming off, because they wobble a little bit. If that comes off, you lose your wheel. But that's it. We'll get the second one on right here. Let me see if I can get a little bit better view. I'm going to move my top camera there. There we go. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Again, this is how easy these are to get together. Again, it's a little time consuming to get your clevises on, okay, and to get your horns screwed on. That takes some time, but it's pretty simple stuff. Again, I'm just going to snap this in place. There we go, and that landing gear is there and ready to go. So I'll switch back to my other view, and we're good to go. Now, you need a little receiver to put in here when it comes time for that, so just keep that in mind. But that's it. The reflex works pretty nice in this. You can see my tail is popping off because, yes, I didn't totally glue it in place, but that's okay. We're just doing a sort of a dry fit and sort of instructional getting it on. Again, I prefer to use, I always prefer to use my foam tack when I'm putting this thing in place. I usually got foam tack hanging around everywhere, but you can use CA. CA is just as good, just fine. But I think foam tack just gives you a sort of a rubbery, kind of a tougher, tougher bond, I think. Less brittle, let's put it that way. That's what I think of it. So let me go up here. We're going to zoom in, get you guys in on that that propeller and how that whole thing's going to mount. And all you really have for that, and I'm going to see if I can go to my top view here. Here's my prop hub right here. There's a hub piece in here, and there's a piece here. And then there's usually a second, there we go, there's a second hub piece. So this is what you got for getting your prop in place, 2 hub pieces. In fact, let me zoom out a little bit because I'm kind of tight on that. There we go, it's kind of hard to see. We'll take our propeller. There we go, sorry, my head's in the way there. We're gonna take our propeller, we're just gonna stick that in place, pretty simple stuff. Actually, I did that the wrong side. This one goes on here. Put this in the way, that one snaps on. This one goes right on top, real easy fit. Yeah, those fit beautifully. Make sure you got a good seam there. This one goes together real nice. And then that's pretty much it, folks. So we'll zoom over to the front view. We're going to take that same thing and just pop it right on there. And we're going to make sure it fits into that drive. It's got a locking drive. And then we're going to tighten that up. So let me tighten that up. It's got metal threads, okay, right in there. It's got brass threads. It goes in nice. Remember, this pops in place. There's 2 flat spots on that thing. I'm not sure you guys can see that. Let me try to zoom in a little bit so I can get a little closer on that. Now, it's really not showing it that well, is it? Let me try the top view and see if I can show that. Make sure it locks in, okay? This thing has, let me go from a different angle. It's got 2 flat spots right there, one on this side, okay, and then one on the other side. So your top, you can see this side, it's like a D shape. Make sure that when you put it in, it locks, it pops down into place. And then once it pops down into place, you know it's secure. And we're going to tighten that up. Let's get that on there. And something else to notice too, once you get this in place, is that it has a right and down thrust to it built in, okay? So this is going on tight, which is actually good, because then you don't need any thread lock or locking material or any of that kind of stuff. So if you look at this from this angle, you could see it's got a right thrust. Okay, the prop shaft is angled off to the right. And when you look at it this way, okay, it's got some down thrust. So that thing's not coming straight out. It's coming at an angle down and to the right. So, and that's what you need to alleviate, the left turning tendencies of the airplane a little bit with P factor and torque and all that kind of stuff. So, so there's our prop, pretty much in place. I keep losing the tail because I didn't glue it on, so I'm just going to pop that right back in place again. We're just doing a sort of a dry fit today, just to keep that in place. And I think that's it, folks. That is kind of the majority of the assembly, of the entire plane. I mean, it goes together pretty much that quick. I'm going to do something real fast because I'm trying to keep the tail from coming off. I'm going to use a little double-sided tape. I'm going to stick that right on the underside of this. This is just sort of ad-libbing this thing a little bit. I'm going to try and see if that'll just keep it on. We're going to use tape on that anyway when the time comes to get the paint off. So let me see if that'll just kind of help keep it in place as I'm sort of demonstrating, kind of putting this thing together. And then we've got the underside stuff. Let's see how that goes all on there, because again, I've never really done that with this thing. So here's the underside. Let me back this off. We've got some drop tanks to put on. Let me reach over and grab those drop tanks. Those are going to slide on, it looks like, just like so. We're going to grab that little thing there, slide it in place. Oh, that fits beautifully. Wow, look at that. That's nice. Let me angle my camera a little bit more. Do a little bit of adjustment so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. We're going to slide this one in place right here. Get that one in there. Yeah, there we go. So there's our two kind of drop tanks. And then our missiles these probably need to be glued. I don't know if those are going to stay in place. I'll try, and let's see how that goes down. Yeah, they're probably going to need to be glued. I don't know if there's enough friction. They don't seem to go deep enough in there to hold them in there without gluing them. So I'll put one side on. Let me see if I can get one side to just stay. Well, let's try them both. Let's just see if we can get them on there. I think if I'm careful moving it around, they might stay on there. So I just don't want to spend too much time in this video gluing them, because I think you guys know pretty much they'll glue in place. And I'm going to fly this airplane. I'm going to fly this plane without gluing them on right away, because I don't really want them on there. So like I said, the old 1700 millimeter CORSAIR that FMS makes, you know, they had a separate panel. So when you took the whole missile panel off, rack or whatever, you put a blank one on. It had none on there. So I thought that maybe they were going to supply one like that, but I guess they don't. So but that's okay. You know, honestly, you could glue all these on if you really want to, and then you could just unscrew the panel and just fly without it if you wanted to. Probably be a little drag there, but not a big deal. So and really that's it. I mean, let me go to a top view real fast, because I do want to show you one more thing that we did talk about a little earlier, and that's just you know, your ailerons and stuff. It does come with the rods to put on these. The rods are not attached on this thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to screw your clevis right onto here, and you're probably going to, the best way to do it, safest way to do it is power it up and let your servos kind of come out of their slot. But I'm just going to reach in here with a screwdriver and power them up so they're neutral. That's actually the best way to do it. But then you're just going to have your clevises, your rods, horns, linkages. You're going to insert these in one of these slots to be determined later, probably in more of an inner slot. And then you're going to have, and in fact, you know what? I can probably do this one real fast just to get everybody on board with it. They do provide you with fuel tubing, so I'm going to pop that in place real quick. So, and then I'm going to unscrew these real quick. Okay, we'll get that one undone, get that one undone. Let's see, I'm going to pop this one in place. I'm going to stick this in here. Whoop. Okay, and then we would screw it from the other side and then pop our linkage on. That's really all I'm going to do. I don't think I need to screw it from the other side just yet. I'll just leave that kind of as is, but you're going to attach all these. Again, this is how your aileron, this is what's different in that, because you've got the actual horn or rod to actually put on. You got to put your horn and clevis on, and that's it. So where it's a little different from your tail, where, you know, your tail's already, you know, it's already got the clevises on there. So, and again, I'm going to change my clevises just because I want it to be, you know, a little more secure and fly just a little bit better. And I've sent that off to FMS so they know that that was an issue that I had with it, and I think it just causes a little, you know, slop in the controls, play in the controls, and there we go, guys. That is it. There's your CORSAIR, fully assembled mostly, without being glued, just kind of dry fitted. The tanks come off real nice. Let me flip this around. I'm going to put this on the table. We're probably going to lose a missile or two when I do this, because I haven't glued them in place. So, but let's see what we got. There it is. So let's go a little up on the table here. See if I can get in the frame there, and you guys can see what a nice model this is. That's how simple it is. You put a 4-channel receiver, which I have some 4-channel receivers coming in, and like I did with the other ones, the P-51 and the T-28. I went ahead and I put in just a 4-channel, simple 4-channel, because the reflex is already in there and it's good to go. So that is it. Let me see how my 1300 pack is going to fit in here. Let me see if I can bring this a little lower, a little closer to the camera here. Let's see what we got. Let's see how this is going to fit in there. This may or may not fit. Yeah, it should slide in there pretty nice. Yeah, there's the, here, I just stuck it in there. That's how my China Hobbyline 1300 goes in there. It fits in there pretty decently. So I just slide that in place. I think the canopy might be a little bit of a tight fit with that. I might have to trim some foam because it is a little bit of a fatter battery. Here, let's see. Let me go back to my front view. Yeah, it might be a little fatter battery to fit in there. This doesn't seem to want to fit with that in there. So I may make some adjustments, but I'll talk about that, you know, a little later as I fly this. I might really mod the inside of this because the original airplane wasn't really meant for a reflex, okay? And they just kind of stuck a reflex in there. So I may fool with the inside of that as far as how this mounts, because if I find a better mounting for this, I'll show you guys how I did that, okay? So but I'll play with that later. Sometimes that takes, you got to investigate it a little bit and figure out what's, you know, probably the best way to make that fit. And I'll be talking about that, you know, as we do the flying portion of it. So there it is, guys. It went together that quick. Really nice model. And we're going to have it out there with the other, you know, 800 millimeter birds here soon. And we'll show that off. So right now, I'm going to put this on the Ernst stand. And we're going to go 0 power. Does anybody have any questions about that? I'm going to look at my screen here. See if anybody's got any questions. That was a graphic description for my. Oh, there we go. Now let's repeat that. How do I do? Yeah, there we go. Well, okay. So you guys were commenting. I wasn't noticing what you guys were saying, but yeah, you're commenting on my. Yeah. Well, hey, you got the point, right? You just don't want the pin to be loose in the thing, so in the horn. So, does anyone have any way of protecting your model if you don't put the gear on? Yeah, just belly land it, man. Land it in some soft grass, and it's okay. You can put some clear tape on the underside. A lot of guys do that. Let's see. I love small, good value, fun, toss and boss planes. That's Mike Bird. All right. Again, guys, got links below for FMS, Fair RC, and Horizon Hobby on all of these things. So if you guys click on those, it supports the channel. I appreciate that. Let's see. Hey, Rick, do you think they will make an affordable 1.2 meter Tiger Cat? That would be cool. Rich, does it have reflex gyro, sir? Mike Bird, yes. If you're talking about the Corsair, yes, it does. So, and now we're doing the 0, guys. We're going to head along here because we are an hour and 15 into the show. And we got to get to more building, more assembling. So Corsair, is everybody ready to see this? Or 0, I mean. Let's see, I'm in England, me too, smaller version of V2 Corsair. Mini Spitfire would be cool, yep. That'd be great, Roger. Okay, everybody's ready? Y'all want to see the 0? Again, another plane I've never seen from FMS. In the early days, I never did any of the smaller stuff, you know, so now we're getting to this. It'd be cool if they came out with a small F7F. Yeah, I'd love to see a little F7F or even a P-38, you know, but I love the F7F. Well, you guys know me. There's a lot of promo videos, a lot of demos and things out there, guys, where a lot of folks are, you know, hey, this is the best this is the best that, this is this best airplane or whatever. And it's really hard, you know, being the best airplane, it's kind of subjective. It depends on what you like and what you don't like. So I can say this, though. In my opinion, the best foam warbird out there is the FMS 1700 millimeter Tiger Cat. You guys have heard me say that over and over again. It's simply the finest foam warbird made, in my opinion, and I'll probably, again, if I could have only one warbird or only one airplane, it'd be the FMS F7F Tiger Cat. So just bar none, that's the best. So you guys know you never really see any of my videos where they say best this, best that, because that's the kind of subjective, you know. A lot of that stuff is sales tactics and stuff, and so, you know, but all good airplanes, though. I mean, there's really not any out there nowadays too much that are really bad. So let's see. Have you done a video for the Spektrum AS3X safe users on learning and using FMS reflex? It doesn't really work with the reflex. That's the thing. A reflex, when you're using a reflex, you've got to use just a dummy receiver. In other words, a receiver with no stabilization in it. So if you're going to use AS3X with any of these, you got to pull a reflex out. I've never even tried them together. They probably fight each other. Anyway, all right, guys, here's the 0. We got the Japanese 0, the plane that really messed up Pearl Harbor. But hey, they paid for it eventually. So, but hey, it is what it is. It still was a great fighter plane. In fact, a lot of the 0 was modeled off of Hughes's R1 whatever racer. You know, that one that he raced. Apparently the plans were stolen and they used some of those plans is what I heard. I could be wrong, I guess, but lots of scale features, guys, on this airplane. We're going to get to this. Let's talk about the specs. Lots of nice pictures on the box. Same deal as all the other 800 millimeter Warbirds. Let's see, 750 millimeter wingspan, 570 length. So Zero's a short airplane, short coupled. Motor size, this one's got a 1550 kV, I guess. Let's see, 20 amp ESC, 4 9-gram servos, 40 millimeters from leading edge is supposed to be the CG. 3-bladed prop. So unique prop on this one, and then 1300 milliamp LiPo. So use what LiPo you like, guys, but I really do like the China Hobby Line one. It's a little bigger and heavier, but it seems to fly the planes well at 100C, and the price is good on them too. So, all right, so let's get this out of the box. We're going Zero. We started with the CORSAIR, the F4, now we're going to the Zero. Again, guys, another plane I've never seen out of the box. We're going to do another assembly, dry fit, see if we can get this together, and show you guys what it's all about. I broke some foam, my bad. All right, it's not a total loss. Let me throw the box over there. All right. Let's see. Nerf this. What do you say? Can FMS Kingfisher perform 3D aerobatics? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can. Yeah, I'm not really a 3D guy, but yeah, Kingfisher's awesome, guys. If you want something to maneuver around in tight places with, good bush plane, good float plane, it's awesome. So pay it forward. Rich, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yep, we're here. Pay it forward's in the house. Reflex and AS3X are not compatible from Guniak. He's just reinforcing that. Yeah, you got to use one or the other. So, you know, Reflex works real well. It's decent. It's a free stabilizer, or not free, but it comes with a plane. So AS3X allows you to tune the airplane better, okay, have better gains, make the airplane fly more stable. I mean, you can get it into a rock-solid situation with all the gains and programming that you can do with the AS3X. But then you say, are you flying the plane or is the AS3X flying the plane kind of thing? So it definitely makes it easier, but there's much more programming features with the AS3X, guys, that make the plane easier and better to fly. But the Reflex is good enough. The Reflex kind of gives it that stability you need. Normally, you guys know, I don't put stabilizers in almost any of my planes until recently because they're all coming with them, and it doesn't make sense to take them out. It does make them easier to fly, but most of my planes in the past, most of my reviews are no stabilization at all. Most of these planes you really don't even need it for. So these little ones, it's definitely helpful because the wind can toss it around quite a bit. So Christopher Estrada says, unfortunately, I live in the high desert of California. Wide swaths of lush green grass are the fevered dream of RC enthusiasts and golfers alike. Yeah, okay. Best plane is a Hangar 9 Twist that he has. All right, Brad's in the house. Brad is Brad's pay it forward. So let's see. Jeff Powers, nerf this. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's get this out of here. I'm going to cut this open. Looking for my knife. Where did my knife go? I don't know. I'm going to take another one out. All right, here. Let's do this. This will just make it easier. Oh wow, that blade came out in there in the knife, didn't it? Came out of the knife. All right, let's get that together. Pull that apart. There we go. Let's pull this. I'm just going to cut through that, cut through that, and that. I hope that works. Crossing my fingers, and let's see what we got. Yes, the miracle, the absolute miracle of the X-Acto hobby knife. All right, let's see. Let's go to the top view. Y'all can see what this looks like. Let me back off on the zoom. We'll lower the table, and you guys can get an idea of what this looks like in all its glory. This thing's got some panel lines to it. Holy smokes, look at this thing. Wow, look at that. That's serious. Look at the wing on that. Again, I've never seen one of these up close. Look at the panel line detail. We'll get a close look at that. Nice big aileron. I bet this is going to fly good. There's your horns or your hookups for your ailerons. Wow, look at the detail. That's some deep panel line. That's so deep it can cause some drag. But wow, look at the detail on that. Wow. We'll show this up close on the other camera. I think it sometimes shows that better. But I don't know, maybe you guys see it better from here. Let's see. Yeah, lots of detail. Let's look at that. See, look at that. Look at the panel lines on that. Holy smokes. Standard catches. You can see these are your catch releases for your landing gear. Real nice. Flip it around. You guys can see. Look at that. Very deep panel lines. Somebody went nuts on this thing. I don't know that you need them that deep, but hey, the detail is there. These are like the no-step areas for flaps. So yeah, really, really cool. These yellow on the leading edge really make it easy to see. I got to admit, when you have a yellow leading edge like that. All right, let's get this out of here. There's some more foam, instructions. All right, we know what to do with that. These are your tail fins, your tails. There you go. Got 2 of those, 2 halves. No spar between the 2 guys. You just glue these in. Okay, these will allow. Actually, you know what? That's kind of like a fit together deal. So yeah, those will fit between. There's some good detail on those too. It's got some nice sort of corrugations in there. I don't know if these were wood, but those might have been a sort of a rib and a wood type, you know, design the way they did the airplane. I'm not sure if these were metal or if these were wood. Some of these older World War II planes were composite. Like part of the plane was metal, part of them was wood, and dope and fabric covered and stuff. There's our fuselage. Ooh, that's nice. Zeros have always been cool looking airplanes. Look at the panel lines on that. Holy smokes. Look at that. That is cool. I like that. Like I said, this is a plane I have not seen yet. I mean, up close. I mean, this is first time doing it. I've done most of the FMS stuff, just not like the little stuff. So it's kind of neat to get in and see all these things. Nice, nice spinner and prop setup. And all right, well, let me get the rest of the stuff out of the box. What do we got here? We got some stuff here. Something's here. Let's get this out of here. Some Y harnesses, it looks like. And oh, what else is out? Here's a landing gear down in there. Again, don't throw your box out until you finish the plane. There's our landing gear. I want to put a little bit of foam tack on the end of that. Oh, here's our 3-bladed prop. Look at that. Very cool. Has a single stripe on the end of it, like the Japanese had. And then we got a little miniature down in here. Drop tank. Look at that. There we go. No torpedoes, man. They ran out of torpedoes, I guess. So I'm surprised they didn't put a torpedo on that going into, you know, for the Pearl Harbor guys. But anyway, here, let's throw this over here. Man, I got some serious boxes over here now that are building up. So, wow, that's slick. Look at that. This is pretty cool. I like that. All right, I'm going to run out of Ernst stands here. All right, let's see. What else? We got any questions there? Hamilton's Hangars, pilots. Hamilton's in the house. Check out Hamilton at Hamilton's Hangars. He's got some cool stuff there. Ray, Mike Berg, pay it forward. Shay is in the house. All right, here we go. We're going to get this up and out of here. Oh, here we go. Another Ernst manufacturing stand with lots of heavy stuff in it. All right, so we'll get this all up here. We're going to get this all assembled and show you how easy it is to get this together. Piece of cake getting this together. Give you a little review of the parts. I'm going to go to my front view here once again so you guys can see the detail on that. And here we go. Let's go start with this side. Again, look at those panel lines. Holy smokes. I mean, they went nuts at FMS for this. And again, this is like, I think this is an older plane. This has been around a while. So, but I didn't know that this thing had sort of the level of detail, you know, that it does have on it. So, really nice. I'm impressed. Yeah, lots of detail on there. Very, very cool. You got the landing gear retracted in there, okay, but we're going to snap the other gear on here. So, yeah, and that's pretty cool. So that's that. Let me get out the horizontal stabilizer here. Again, this came in 2 halves. It's got some pretty good detail on it. I'll flip that around. You guys can check that out. They come apart. Yeah, 2 halves just go on either side of the plane. Glue them in with foam tack or some CA or something, and that'll be it. Same as before. It comes with a bag of clevises, okay, and rods and stuff. So you got to put your clevises on everywhere. But pretty straightforward stuff. That's pretty easy to do. We don't need to go through each one of those again. You guys know how to do that, I think. So, and then we got our landing gear. We got a landing gear here. Two gear struts. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And our little drop tank. We saw that. Detail on that's pretty nice. That just slides right on. Pretty cool. And again, rods or horns, linkages. Looks like a Y harness for ailerons, I think. So yeah, you just get that all in there. And I'm going to drop all these parts. I think that's it. Here's the propeller, guys. That's pretty straightforward. I'm going to go to my top view. Okay, we're going to pick up. We're going to load up our 3rd chamber here of our Ernst stand here, or our Ernst organizer, because we got our CORSAIR stuff here. Right here, we're going to put all of our stuff for our 0. And see, yeah, there's a Y harness right there. You guys can see. The Y harness. There's an antenna for the top. Looks like some smokestacks. I didn't know it had these detail. Some stacks, probably for the underside of the cowling, okay, for the radial engine. That's kind of cool. And then there's actually a pitot tube. You probably stick in a wing or something. That'll break right off as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure. Oops, went in the wrong side, violation. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And in fact, this will probably go, oh yeah, I know where this goes. This is going to go right. In fact, here, I'll just do it. Here, this is probably something I should put on last because I'll tear it off. But this is going to go right through here. Yeah, the Japanese Zero had this goofy antenna that went through the fuselage. I don't know why. It's some sort of aerial. Maybe it even had a wire that went back to the tail for radio or navigation or something. But it went through the canopy, which was bizarre. It had like a hole through it. Again, I don't know what that's all about, but that's kind of what it is. And then you've got these little details here. These are your stacks. I'm not sure which way these go, forward or back. I don't know if they're forward or back. If somebody knows, let me know. I don't know if they angle forward or angle back. But anyway, I'm going to put those two on there. But that's a nice little detail to have. So that's kind of cool. See, you just pop those on there, and you've got some exhaust stacks. So that's pretty neat little detail. I don't think those will fall out very easily. So, but let's get to the tail section. Tail section is going to go on probably pretty darn simple. Again, use some foam tack, use some CA, and then you're going to glue these in. It's pretty much that simple, folks. These are all going to snap right in, slide right in. Use yourself some CA, use some foam tack. But in either case, those will all be secured in place just like that. There's your tail. You want to put your wing on also at first, and then line it up. Make sure that your wing is parallel, with your elevator. And in fact, I'll just go ahead and throw that on right now, just to show you how, kind of how simple, of a thing that there is. There's always a couple of long screws here, folks. So I'm going to slap these in place. I'm going to throw these. Let me drop that right down into the middle. Again, so I got all my Zero stuff here in the middle. There's usually a couple long screws. FMS usually gives you a third, so you have a spare in case there's a problem with a screw, because a lot of people don't have little screws, in their inventory like this. So, and I probably didn't do this for the CORSAIR, but yeah, you got to pull your wires out here. I guess I missed that step. Stick those through into there, and then pop your wing on, okay? And then you sight down through here, watch your wires, make sure you're just not pinching them, which I don't think I am. That should fit right down on there. Let me just get this into the place it needs to go into. There we go. That fit beautifully. Wow, very nice. Let me get, see, that'll go. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a nice fit. Oh, wow, I'm impressed. Look, you almost can't even see the seams in that. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty slick setup. You notice, guys, I haven't really referenced the instructions because most of these planes go together the same way. And I've kind of been doing this a decade, so it's kind of, I'm not saying don't look at the instructions, but it just sort of speeds me along a little bit when these all kind of have the same methodology. And that's why these 400mm birds are so nice, because once you built one, they all kind of go to the other the same way. And even the bigger ones, methodology for assembling them is pretty much the same. So tighten these up, make sure this is on. And then once you get your wing on, that's how you want to glue your tail on right after it to make sure it's parallel to the wing. And I'm constantly always looking over here, make sure this seam is tightening up here, because that's what you want to see, that's tight without crushing these things here. So let me get this, put my hand on the back side as I'm tightening so I can kind of feel that going on, yeah. Again, if you start seeing it crushing in here, you start seeing some buckling in there, it just means you've gone a little too far, so back it off, or just don't go any more. That's all you need to do. So this, I'm starting to see it kind of compress the foam. So, but that's it. That wing is on. And, since I'm here and I'm under the underside, I'll just throw this drop tank on. See how nice that goes in place? That's it. While I'm under here, I might as well throw my landing gear on. So let me grab these. These go on real easy. And just be careful when you put these on, especially when you take them off. Okay, these pop out of place just like we did with the other gear there. I think I got that going the right way. Is that the right gear? That is the right side. So we're going to put this on here. Be careful if you ever take these off. Put your finger here. So when you try to get this out, if it catches in here, which it does sometime, what I did with my Mustang accidentally, I didn't have my thumb there, and I slipped getting this out, and I went all the way on here, made a big scratch along here. So put your thumb here, okay, when you're taking the gear off, okay, so you don't scrape up the whole underside of your plane like I did. So, all right, we're going to put that in place. We're going to drop that down there. There we go. And then we're just going to snap that little catch in place. That just fits there. And our gear's on. That's it. Pretty simple stuff, guys. It's real nice to get a plane out of the box like this that fits together so well. Here, let's get this on. We're going to get this in place too. Let's pop that in there. There we go. We're going to close that up, and we're going to lock that in. Let's get that here. I'll see if we can get a closer upper of that so you guys can see that. This wheel pant thing, or this gear door gets in the way a little bit on this one, but that's okay. It's gonna. Let me see if I can get that locked in. There we go. There we go. The door just gets in the way a little bit. So those are removable again for hand launching, and it's really really that slick. Again, just like we talked about with the CORSAIR, okay, with your aileron, you're going to put all your clevises on, or your horn is going to go right on here, screws through the top side, and then you're going to go ahead and pull this forward, or apply power to your servo, and then you're going to put your rod and your horn on, and it's just that simple. So you'll do all that, and that should be about it. So let me pan out here a little bit. Let's go back to our other view, which I'm way zoomed in on. Let me back that out. And guys, that's about it for the Zero. See how nice that is. Zeros often do not have landing gear that is raked very far forward. They tend to flip over on their nose a lot. So if you want to, you could probably pop, what I might do with mine, if I find that happening, which I might even do ahead of time, is pop the gear out and bend it so your gear have a forward rake to them. So they rake forward, and it's not quite scale, but it keeps the plane from flipping over. So I'll probably bend those forward a bit. So let me get in here on the prop, because that's really all there is to get together here. Go with the propeller. Here, let's unscrew that. Move it forward. No, those move back a little bit. There we go. We'll go up a little bit. Let's go down a little bit. Excellent. There we go. All right, and that's it. Nice prop adapter and everything. Look at that. Ooh, that's got a long shaft on it, baby. And of course, it's got that D-ring hex drive in there. Make sure that locks in. Okay, make sure it pops into place, because it'll lock in. You'll feel it. And then we get our prop in place. Does that just go on like that? Is that all that thing is? That fits like that. And then this one goes over that. Yeah, I guess that's how that goes together. That seems almost a little sketchy to me. All right, if I find something, between now and the flight that I modify on that, I'll let you know. But let's see, that seems to go on okay, but it does seem to have a little bit of a gap there. That's kind of odd. Something might need to be sanded there. But it seemed to go on okay. There we go. And that is it. That is it for your Zero prop. And that's it, guys. This one went together better than the other. And I have to say, this one probably has, in my opinion, probably a better fit and a better finish than the other one. Not to say the other one's anything wrong with, but here, let's look at the front of this. Check out the gun detail on this thing. That's slick. They did a really nice job putting two little guns there. And then I think there's a pitot tube hole. I'm not sure where that one goes exactly. But yeah, the detail on this, holy smokes. Yeah, this one's impressive. I tell you, the Zero is cool. They did such a nice job. Again, I'm going to reiterate one more time. You guys do have to put your clevises on, or your horns, here and here. And you got to put your horns on the tail, just like we talked about the Zero. And you have to put your horn on right here. But, and then you put your clevises on. But I'm going to change all my clevises out so you don't have that looseness to it. But, man, what a nice little model. Very, very cool. Let me shift my my view there. This thing's cool. I mean, I didn't know that this thing was actually this nice of a model. It's very impressive, but I can tell that it may take off fine. I think if you're on pavement, you'll probably be okay. On grass, this may tend to nose over. So again, you could just pop this out, take some pair of pliers, grab that metal piece and bend it so your main gear just rakes forward. In fact, you could probably do it right here. You risk kind of bending the mount a little bit, but if you bend it forward, you get a little forward rake in that gear, it'll take off better without flipping over or nosing over. So when it comes to flight demos and setting it up, we'll talk about that when we get out to the field and fly it, because I'll set it up here and be able to talk to you about it a little more at the field, what I did to it and that kind of thing. So, but real impressed, guys. This is a nice little plane. I mean, they really did a good job on this. The inside of the cockpit here, we'll open that up. And let me flip over to here just to show y'all. There's the inside setup. And there's no reflex in this. Oh no, no reflex. We may have to go no gyro, man. So I thought there was a reflex in this. I thought this was supposed to have one. Maybe they didn't put it in, or maybe they forgot. I've got reflexes around, so I'll probably pop one in here. Here's our 20 amp speed controller. Again, when these planes were made, guys, these didn't have any. They didn't have any reflexes. There were no stabilizers, actually. I don't think, not many anyway, for airplanes. So now that there's a whole bunch of them, I guess that maybe they're trying to think. Maybe this one just doesn't have one. But I'll throw one in here. When you guys buy, if you guys buy one, just check it, make sure it comes with or without or whatever. I have spare ones laying around, so I'll throw one in and program it if there is a guide for it. Lots of room for a battery. Battery should fit up there. Here, let me try this. Try this China Hobby line in there. See how that fits. That should go in there pretty nice. Yeah, that'll fit in there. I'll probably cut away a little of the foam down there, but I'll mess with that. We'll talk about that as we fly it, as I get it in there. So obviously you need to do a little bit of finagling, because the speed controller is just kind of sitting here, which is kind of funky. But I'll work on that. I might get that speed controller way down into the nose too, and I'll probably talk about that a little more as we kind of get it going. But I tell you what, this airplane, this thing has some really nice detail, and I tell you what, the finish on it is pretty nice compared to, some of the others. But and then this is going to go on. So you got tongue and groove, pilot screwed up, you got it screwed in, you got a canopy, you got a magnet there, and that's it. So yeah, nice bird, but weird. There's no reflex. I thought there was a reflex supposed to be in this, so I'm not seeing it. But anyway, I will play with that. I'll report back as I get to that when I get to the flying portion. And we will talk about that as we do that. So that's it, folks. You can see how nice of a plane that this is. No, my desk is going nuts on me. Here, let's do this. Let's raise this a little bit. There's too many buttons for me to hit. Let's see. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. They did a nice job on this thing. Look how nice that is. I mean, I'm breaking stuff back here. All right, here we go. But that's it, guys. Look at the detail. I mean, it's killer. I don't know where the pitot tube goes. I'll probably put that on later, or I may not at all, because you guys know me. I do break that stuff off. I'm looking around there. There is a Y harness that comes for the ailerons, but you can see how simple of a construction that is. Usually zeros, you go fly them, and they just really fly great. They were just such a good fighter plane. They just didn't have a lot of armor. You hit them a couple times, and that was it. They folded. But they were great dogfighters, apparently, and they flew really great, and they just couldn't take the damage. The American airplanes could take all kinds of hit and fly all day long, but this Zero really couldn't take a hit, but it was lethal as a fighter plane. It was pretty awesome. So, and that's it, guys. We're going to get on to the bigger plane. You can see why I did this, because I start running out of space pretty fast for some of this stuff when I do this. So, and especially with a big airplane, we're going to get on to the bigger plane. We're going to get on to the SU or the J-11. Let's put that down. All right, let's see what kind of questions we got. Let's see. Dynam has one. Let's see. I've seen so many folks struggle to land and take off. Supermarine Spitfire floats would complete. Yeah, man. I got a video of that. Here, hold on. Let's see. I can show you that. Let me go here. Let me go Dynam. Yeah, let's go Dynam.
Hey guys, Rich here. Welcome back
Dynam.
to the channel. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming.
Spitfire on
We got a lot of
floats.
stuff to talk about today. We're going to try and unbox as much as we can here today.
So if we go to that, and I'll highlight that. Bloop. If you guys go here, you'll be able to see all my videos on that thing. So let me scroll over here. If you type in like Dynam Spitfire on floats, RCINFORMER, you'll see I've done many videos of that. So yeah, you'll be able to check that out. The first one, and then when I did the upgrade, refit, and then there was the maiden flight we did there. Yeah, flew great. There it is. There's your Spitfire and floats you asked for and you shall receive. Dynam makes one. It's a little bit rough, okay, but it's like a hot rod out of the float field if you're going out there flying one. It's like a rocket ship flying it around. Definitely could benefit from stabilization. It's a little rough fit and finish, of course. It's not quite the quality of some of the others, but man, it's a race car out there. And you'll see it's just kind of crazy. It's steered off on me there a little bit. I don't have any stabilization in it too. You watch it fly here. Because again, no stabilization
This is really
in
a
it
trim
whatsoever.
flight, 'cause it
So
hadn't flown, since the last time, and I did
what you see is what you
all
get. But
these
it flies well without it. I might stick one in to smooth it out, and I put that lower ventral fin on because the plane just needs the additional. There we are, inverted. You always got to fly inverted.
Yep.
But there it is, flying around.
This control is so much better than it
There
was.
we go. That lower fin, that additional lower fin, really gives you some stabilization. That additional ventral fin. So I added that because the full scale had that, and this one didn't, because they basically just took a retract version and put floats on it, stuck them in the wheel wells, and they never modified the tail just because it's expensive to do that. This was an easy way that they could make a float plane for everybody, without making that mod. But it really could benefits from that ventral fin in the back, because all that extra float up front loses some yaw stability, and having that ventral fin, extra vertical surface in the back, really helps out a lot. But you can see, nice model. There it is. Ask for and ye shall receive.
My camera girl's gone.
Let me pause
Come
that.
back here and get a couple shots.
And you guys can go and check that out whenever you'd like. Let me cancel that out. Let's get on to the big tamale. Let me put this down. We're going to get to this. Everybody, if you guys left the show and you want to see it, tell your friends. Hey, we're doing the J-11 next. But I need a little Coke break here, so let me see real quick. Take 5 here. Let's see if anybody's got any questions or anything. 53 guys watching. I want to thank everybody for coming. That's a huge turnout, for a Sunday afternoon. And we're getting to the J-11 now. We're going to do that. So, you want a 1500 millimeter zero? Yeah, FMS made a 1400. It was really nice. Hopefully they'll. Actually, you know what? Hang on a second. I think they got that. Hold on a second. No, I mean I have one. I just never really. I'm looking to see if I have it here. Oh wait, hold on a second.
Let me see.
See, I do requests, guys. Hang on a second. I don't have the 1400 one to show you, but, and I think I got a video of this one too. Hang on a second. So, I was just looking up here at my. Oh, here we go. If anybody wants to see this one, it's got some dust on it, but I'll show it to you. Okay, this is the FMS 1100 millimeter. Okay, it's got a little dust on it. It flies great. It's a rocket plane too. But this one's got a nice drop tank, retractable gear. It just has dust on it because it's been sitting on my shelf for quite some time. It's got great gun detail. And you guys can get this. I got links below in the description. You can go to, you can either go to FMS Model, Fair RC, Horizon Hobby, I think. And I got links for this down there. You guys should be able to go check this out. It's got really nice split flaps. If you guys want to see a cool zero, here, check that out. See that? Nice. This is 1100 millimeters, and I think this is available now. And I think the 1400 too is. They may or may not be in stock, but you can see this one's got the big clevis pins in the back. Here, I'll get close. So there you go. Okay. Just a great model. Little skittish. If you're taking off on grass, just flipping over because it doesn't have the rake in the gear. But I put some washers, I think, under there to move them forward, and that did the job. But this is highly detailed, guys. Again, this is 1100 millimeter, and the white tips really make the airplane stand out. Okay, and you can also see, look, it's got that goofy antenna. I don't know what the Zeros had an antenna that went through the canopy, and what that was all about. If you guys know, historian-wise, see, it needs a dusting. But I'll get this out. None of these planes have really ever crashed or anything. I fly them, do demo videos. FMS has a video of this that I actually shot for them, and they've been running it for a while. These white wingtips on this 1100 stand out like a sore thumb. So the combination of having this bright yellow color and the white wingtips are outstanding for visibility. So great little airplane, and I think it's only 3S. I don't think it's even a 4-cell. It's a 3S, and it flew fantastic. retractable gear again. So anyway, ask for, you guys shall receive. So I just happened to realize that it was back there on my Flying Tiger RC plane rack thing there. So let me go put it back. So because I was prepping this to do some flying with and all of that. So here, let me see if I get this back in there. Put that there without breaking anything. All right, it's on the rack. It's back on the rack. So it's Sukhoi time. So all right, let me get around here. Doing some tight maneuvering. All right, here we go. Let me throw this up here real quick. I just want to show you guys this. I'm probably going to do this to my airplane, okay? But let me go here. Let me throw this back up here. Okay, this is just Wikipedia. You can find this anywhere. It's a Shenyang J-11. Here, let me grab it. Right up here like we talked about. So this was basically a Chinese, you know, I got to go this way with it. A Chinese contracted build, I guess, of the Su-27. So the Chinese were actually allowed to build this. So they built their own, I guess, or assembled it themselves or something. There's history on it here. But they talk about all this, the background of the Su-27, and then they talk about, you know, the Chinese being allowed to build it or whatever. But what I dig is this. I have got to put that lion's head on the tail and the nose of this thing. I don't know what color that plane is. I don't know if that's the same color or not as this one. It looks like a two-tone gray. Maybe that's a green. I don't know. But I'm putting that lion's head on this thing. I'm telling you. And that, because it's almost like a neon orange lion's head. And that looks cool. I'm kind of blown away they didn't put that on here. But it's got the Chinese logos on it and stuff. And it's got the red door wells and things. But it doesn't have the lion's head, man. The lion's head is going to go on this. So I'm going to have that made somehow. Or I'll fabricate it myself or something. But I think that is cool. So we're going to get to this. Let me close that window. And there we go. There's your Shenyang J-11, also known as the Russian Su-27 that they contracted so the Chinese could build it. So let me grab a drink here, guys. Go back to my chat log. Everybody getting fired up. Again, 52 guys watching. Thank you guys for coming.
It's a pretty awesome car. Like I said, there's so many incarnations of it.
All right. It's time to do it. All right, let's close this up. Get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. And I can still see what you guys are doing and saying and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, here it is, guys. The big tamale. So this is it. So, again, as we talked about a little bit before, there's not really too much to show on this, but just for the guys who are joining us now, because there's more people here, this is, again, non-U.S. market plane, but you never know. Could happen. 1,100 millimeters long, 1,640, or sorry, 1,100 millimeter wingspan, 1,640 millimeters in length. I can read all that Chinese perfectly, so hopefully the translation's good. Let's see. Two 1,900 kV motors. And 280 amp speed controllers, 13-gram service for the elevator, two of them, 9-gram service. CG and the 70 millimeter Pro fans, 12-bladed, and a 5,000 to 6,000 pack. So those are the specs on it. Great art on the box, except for the lion's head. I'm gonna have that lion's head on this thing. I tell you, right there on the tail, and then right up here. And I think that'll really stand out. I'm gonna do that. I get a hold of Cali Graphics. If somebody beats me to it, then tell me that where they were at. So yeah, there's a nice, yeah, that's a great view of this thing. Two-tone gray on the box. Yeah, really cool. So let's get in on that. Yeah, that's slick, man. Chinese Su-27 basically is what that is. So, all right, enough talking, enough fooling around. We've seen the box too many times. We've already built two planes. Let's do a third. No, it's gonna fall. All right, there we go. All right, so here it is, guys. This is what it looks like. We're talking. Now we're talking. All right. Got lots of box here to show. It's a single layer. You guys can see what that looks like. What's going down in there. So we'll pull some of this out of here. We'll get some of the foam out of here. Canopy is packaged separately. I don't know, maybe it was causing some damage or something, but they packaged it separately. Let me grab my hobby knife. I'll try to read y'all's. Let's see. I'm going to tap on that real quick. I'm trying to read y'all's comments as I'm doing this, so I'm usually not too good at that when I get into this, but oh well, we'll try. Let me throw this way. I'm going to go here a little bit more to the right. Yeah, that's better. So let's see. FMS. Planes are really nice. Can't go wrong with the size of their models. Let's see. Come on, waiting for the J-11. It's here. Cali Graphics, baby. First one that gets to her, contact me because I want that lion's head on there. And it looks like it's like a neon orange, too. So I'm going to look up some other paint jobs, but I just think that graphic would be so cool on this plane. And I just noticed it like yesterday when I went to look for it. So
A lot of really.
Let's get this out of here. We're going to cut this open. Again, guys, I hadn't had this out, so this is my first time opening this one up. I really didn't even peek in it hardly at all. I mean, it's just like the SU-27, but it's just, you know, a lot, you know, just a different paint job, really. Let's see if we can get this out of here. So let's see. We're just going to cut around here, guys. A little bit of cutting. Let's go across here. Don't want to go too deep here. You have to be careful. You got to section these when you take them apart because you can damage the wings if you try to pry the wings out, you know. So you really want to make sure you separate all this stuff correctly. So, and then here, why is that not? Yeah, see, that's not. I didn't separate that totally there. There we go. That's coming off. Again, make sure all these split apart and they come off real nicely. So you can see I'll pull these off of here, pull this out carefully, and we'll get our wing out of place. And there we go. There's one of them. Nice gray, dark gray on the top, sort of a lighter, almost like a blue gray, like a tiny, like a light color. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then here's our tail section, which I'm going to recommend we put on with magnets. Okay, that's our tail probe, whatever that's for. And then we'll slide this out of place. Again, guys, you see how big this thing is. It's kind of hard to maneuver around. There's so much foam in boxes, like right there. I won't be able to egress the room in an emergency. So I'm taking a risk showing this all to you. Okay, let's see. Let's get this. Get this out of here. There's our cockpit. It's nice that they wrapped it up. I think they were probably finding that not wrapping them up probably kind of dinged it a bit. Let's go down. See, I'll change my. That's going up. That's all right. That's cool. Let's go here, top view. Let's go back off on the pan. There we go. You can kind of see this from the top of the canopy looks. And we'll get this together pretty fast, guys. This should go together pretty quick. We've put these together before. So there's our other wing. Oh, do not let the tape get on that. You got to be careful with that. You see the tape was falling down. If that sticks to the paint job, that might pull the paint right off. So again, that's something you want to be really careful of. So let's get that out of there. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Okay, let's go back to our regular view here, and then I'll pull the tail of this off carefully and make sure this is all cut. And let's see if we can pull that. Something's sticking there. That's our tail section. We'll get rid of that. We'll pull this midsection piece off. Y'all can see that. Let's pull that out of there. They got it foam padded nicely with a lot of protection in it, so you can see how nice this is, how cool this thing is looking here little by little as we get this out of here. Here, let me go back to here, to this view. I'm going to put the wings over here. Get those in place. Get this down. All right, let's see. How many guys we got here now? Let's see. All right, we got 60 guys watching. Again, thank you all for coming. I do appreciate that. Always trying to get you guys interesting, cool, different things to see. Seeing them live too sort of beats the heck out of, you know, having a crafted, you know, video that's, that's rehearsed or whatever. So you got to rehearse sometimes when you do videos, or you have to kind of choreograph them, and it's just nicer to just be live and just talk to people about stuff, show them stuff. So there's our tail sections, real nice. So let me put these up there carefully. I'm just going to kind of lay them up there. These are our verticals. 2 verticals fit in there. Ooh, nice. Look at that. They use some nice yellow lettering. I don't know. Yeah, I guess the box shows the yellow lettering. But there's going to be a lion's head right there, man. It's going to be cool. Yeah, I'm pumped. This is pretty neat looking. So let's get that in there. Get that one over there. Park that one down there. And this plane's got a boatload of missiles, as you guys probably know. In fact, I'm going to stack a bunch of those over here. There's just like a rack and rack after rack of missile. I mean, there's just missile after missile after missile and bomb on this thing. So we'll get this over here, get those all over there, and put those down. The nose cone is right here. Let's pop that off. That's nicely painted. And they put the hardware. That's all there is, guys. Just a little bit of hardware. There's not much to put this together. It goes together very simple. But you can see it's got this very nice Very nice nose cone with
Smaller WARBIRDS just because of
the sort of the two-tone of paint. I'll show you that closer as here in a second. Let me just throw that up there.
I don't want to move it around.
And what else do we got? I think that's it, guys. I think the fuselage comes out next. Oh, here we go. Here's our ventral fins on the underside.
So we're going to show this last
So
one. The small WARBIRDS.
show you that. That's pretty cool. There's it's interesting. One of them is covered, one of them is not. Probably just to keep them from rubbing against each other.
I'll kind of zoom in.
It's got a Ziploc bag around one of them because these are mostly plastic. So you know you got plastic side and sort of a foam inlay, but they've got the sort of the graduated index marks here for the elevator travel. So for the full scale, not the model. So just kind of disregard that. That doesn't mean that that's what the model does. So and then here we got the plane in the box. So what we're going to do here, guys, is I'm going to switch to this angle here. Let me see if I can get this up. Try and raise the table just a little bit so y'all can get the gist of this. Check that out. That's pretty neat. Let me get a zoom in on that so y'all can see. Somebody's sending me messages here. Let's see. That's how it looks in the box. It looks like the Firefox, man. Clint Eastwood. It's kind of like almost black. That's cool looking. But no, it looks darker, I think, in the video, folks. So let me see here real fast. Here, let's see. Let me get to. Let me pull this out of here, guys. This is a challenge to get out because it's so big. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it this way. I am going to lower this so everybody can kind of see a little better what I'm doing with this. Let me lower the table a bit because this is really hard to get out of here, or can be, because it's massive. I mean, it's just freaking, it's huge. So let me grab the canopy here and let me try to grab one of the back of these engine nacelles here. Or no, I'll grab finger in the middle here. And then the front of this thing, see how the front, see the nose cone? Look at the nose cone up front. It kind of sticks in the box. So you got to lift it up and then pull it kind of backwards to get it out from, you know, the front of the box. There you go, kind of slide it out. And then we'll put that kind of on here sideways. And then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put this sort of to the side if I can without dropping stuff. You can see what a challenge this can be. So let me put this here. I'm going to put the fuselage down. Get that down carefully. Just going to kind of finagle that with one hand. All right, and then there's more in here. But wait, there's more. Yeah, I'm dropping everything here. I think I just dropped some parts. All right, that's okay. We'll recover. All right, so down in here, again, don't throw the box out. They have hidden missiles. Ooh, they painted them too. Look at that. Let me throw those over there. Look at that. Look at that. They painted them with some color on them, so they're not just white. They're Chinese missiles with black on them, so that's cool. Black and white gives a little detail on that. That's kind of neat. And I think that's it. I think that's all there is to the. I got everything out of there. So I'm going to put this down over here in the remaining little bit of room that I got left. Okay. And then we'll take a close look at this thing. Let me get, for you guys, I know I had sort of a airplane cushion stand here somewhere. And I have misplaced it because I'm going to put that. That's what I'll put the airplane on. And I think I threw it right down here on the box ground. Yep, that's where I put it. I put it there so I could easily find it. And there it is. So this is my old, I used to use this for glow models even. But it didn't get a bunch of goop on it. So this is like a perfect thing for putting this airplane on. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick it up, put it here, slap that down on there so we have a nice foam cushion surface. And there you guys go. There's your fuselage, kind of ready to go. We've got a speed brake up here. And you can see there's a little bit of blue in here because the original plane is blue. So they just painted gray over it. You can see the underside of this thing. And the detail of it, the intakes, the silver engine detail, landing gear doors. Landing gear doors are all mounted nicely. Everything's kind of ready to go. So very, very cool. So what we're going to do, little by little, we're going to assemble the pieces and see how quick and see how easy we can get this thing together. So for now, I'm just going to throw all these in here.
And we're gonna
these can dent the edge. I'm just going to pop all those into place. And to keep those in there, I'm just going to put the canopy on.
I do want to do one more
Okay,
comprehensive.
pop that into place. That locks into place. Real nice canopy latch.
Guys, with the linkages.
And let's take a look at some of these parts, guys. This is cool. Look at the rudder. Look at the verticals. We'll look at one piece at a time here. Yeah, look at this thing. How nice that is. Let me angle this just a little more. No, the other way. There we go. Yeah, lots of detail on that. Again, like the FMS SU-27. And you can get that plane. Like I said, you can get that on the RCINFORMER Amazon store right now. But they got the Chinese logo on there. You can see the rivet detailing. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. It's just missing that lion head right there. I got to get that lion head to put on there. That would be cool. So these just plug in and screw with 2 screws. You've already got your connection right down here, right there. That just plugs right in and you go. It's got a nice pin right here that lines it up. You got another alignment pin there with a screw. That's pretty much it, guys. It's got nice, I like that leading edge with the darker color. That's neat. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but you got all submerged style hinges here. So very, very cool on the hinge work. See how nice that is? I think the whole airplane is that way, with submerged style, you know, hinges, like real style aircraft hinges, not the V-notched stuff. So, but very cool, very cool. And then, let's see, stabilizers. Let me put this here so it doesn't fall. These are your horizontals. That's what that looks like. For anybody that has any of these SUs, something that's important to note, there is a weight in the leading edge of this. It's an aerodynamic counterweight. Don't take it out. Leave it in there, okay, because that helps balance and it helps eliminate, reduce aerodynamic flutter of the surface. So that weight's kind of critical in there. Most people don't know that, but it balances the surface a bit. And then right here you got, back here, you've got your spars. You can see spar slot running across here. This way. And then you've got one here, right here this way, and then this is your rotation pin. But really nice finish, really nice fit, lots of rivets, so you can see the detail on that. How nicely they did with that. I don't know what that X mark is supposed to be, but maybe that's a nose step or something. But yeah, lots of good detail on that. It shows, you can see rivets and all that. Mostly it's a clean surface, but it's got some detail to it, which is pretty nice. So.
I'm showing this to you now.
And really, I think that's, yeah, let me show you one wing. Might as well just give you one wing perusal here. You guys can see how that looks. Yes, super nice. Look at this thing. This is cool. Look at that. Making my cable go up there again. But here, I'll show you, run the detail. Look at that. That's HD, baby. You can see those rivets in there. Look at that. Panel lines here, let me back off just a little bit. I think you guys can see that. But yeah, check it out. All nice detail. Again, just like the SU-27, but you know, again, this is all in gray. And it's got those nice little Chinese stickers on there and stuff, which is a little different. You know, here, let me back off a little bit. You guys can see. But yeah, real nice. Rods, horns, linkages installed already, ready to go. And then right in here, you've got your connectors that come out, okay, for your ailerons and stuff. And I'll check all those. I usually go through all these linkages, guys, just to make sure that they are all secure. I'll pop this Y harness on. It's an expensive model. It's a big model. So I'll check all those and make sure they're tight with a hobby knife and, you know, just bend them to make sure they're nice and tight so all the contacts are good. I'll usually go through all of those too because it's just too nice of a model to risk for one bad connection, you know. So, but yeah, very, very cool. So, and then our screws and stuff, those are all in the nose code. And that's what fell out on the ground. Let me let me go down here and grab that real quick. Where the heck did that thing go? See if I can find those. Those fell down here and they're gone. Let's see, I'll find that here in a second. All right, we get, I am searching for those. Fell down here somewhere. Can't put it together without that stuff. There it is. And that is it right there. Let's see. So here's our hardware. And I'm going to pull that out with my Ernst. I'll go ahead and drop those in my Ernst thing here. So since we put 3 planes together, we got an extra slot here. This will be our 3rd plane here. So this is what comes with it, guys. We've seen this before in the SU-27. We pull this out here. And
All my airplanes are actually kind of angled.
we'll go right down and pull these out here. These are, sorry about that. These are our axle shafts. These are our rotating shafts for our elevators, or our stabilators, and our control rods for our stabilators, and our screws for assembly, and that's really all there is. That's all there is to get this plane together. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to move this kind of over here. Let me get that out of the way. I'm going to switch views here and get you guys back onto the front page here. And that's it, man. It's pretty slick. So the detail on this sort of is as follows. Let's talk about it a little bit. I'll go into I'll try and get some close-ups for everybody as best I can, because it's hard to maneuver this thing. But lots of detail. You got that little silver area. I think that's around a gun port, if I'm not mistaken. So they have that little silver detailed area there. There's pitot tubes and probes and stuff all over this thing. And just again, there's our graduated. I like this thing. This is the index marking for the stabilizer travel, just for the outside of it. So, and then let me get you guys a top view of this so you guys can really see. You know, look at the detail on it. Look how nice that is. I mean, it's just impressive. All the little details they put into it, all the panel lines. See if I can get in on that. There you go. You can see that with some really good detail. So lots of panel lines, hatch covers, rivets, all kinds of stuff. The tailpipe on this is awesome. I'm dying to see this. I'm not sure which afterburner I'm going to put with this. I've got the Guniac afterburner in my F-14, so I have a twin F-14 with Guniac stuff in there. So, and then the SU-27 has the KMRC model burner in this. So I will probably end up putting the 5280 RC burner kit in this thing, so everybody can really see it. And see all three in the airplanes. There's your underside. Let me see if I can get a little closer zoom on some of that. There's some spots for the missiles underneath. There's your nose gear. And then in the back there, we've got your hatch cover for your ESCs right in the center there. You can see right here. And then as we roll back, you got your fan hatch covers. Those are real easy to access. And you can mount a burner in both of these and then run your wires up through the front and then so forth. So, but the color on this is so cool. I just dig that kind of two-tone gray that it has. Love the blue scallop hatch marks around the intakes, and those are all plastic. So very, very nice. And yeah, very cool. A little red. That's kind of neat. It has a red antenna right here on the front. This little red antennas, or antennas painted red. It's kind of neat. Just a little bit of difference. Then you've got this little V-shaped, sorry about that, V-shaped gray right up here. Magnetic nose cone goes on. So, but here, let's get this thing together, guys. We're going to slap this together, get it going, and we'll do a little at a time. So the manual is right here. You got the instruction manual, and pretty straightforward. They talk about, you know, here's all your parts and everything. We just saw everything. Verticals, then horizontals. I'm going to do the horizontals first, okay, because the verticals get in the way when you assemble this thing. So I'm going to do my horizontals first. And that's just by putting your, right here, putting your rotation pins on there. And we go to here, and then getting the horizontals. We'll do that first, like I said. Wheel collar and all that kind of thing. So, and then your rods, horns, linkages, setting up your elevator, which I think this part is wrong. It needs to be, don't look at that. I don't think that's correct. And then you get your wings on, and that's pretty much it. You put your missiles, you put your ventral fins, your nose cone, and all that, and then your tail cone, which your tail cone can be magnetic. I made mine magnetic, so we'll show you all that stuff. And then I think they got control throws here, right there. And then let's see your CG marking, which is probably, let's skip that. Let's see, yeah, here it is. 140 to 150. I think that's pretty accurate. We'll talk more about that during the flight. But all right, guys, let's get it together. Let's get the horizontals on. We're going to take this. We're going to try and speed build this because it goes together very, very fast. Let me pan out so y'all can see what we're doing here. And here we go. So let's flip this upside down. Man, I love the silver. I love that silver detail back there. That's so cool. They went from using a kind of like a copper color to a silver on this one, so it's pretty neat. Must be a different metal or something that the Chinese used rather over the Russian version of the plane. So yeah, here we go. So we had done this before with the SU, so I think you guys know how simple this thing is to get together. But I'm going to go through it like as best I can. I'm going to throw my glasses on, and I'm going to go to this top view. I'm going to push this thing forward so you all can see how we're going to get this thing together. Let's see, and this is the area we're talking about right here. I'm going to try and get this up and above and down here so you guys can see how we're going to do this. Let me try and slide it this way a little bit. No, let's go. Yeah, that's it. And we'll angle the camera a little bit better. There we go. So now you guys can see, I hope, without knocking this thing off. Make sure it's level. Sorry, my head's in the way. But here, let's see. We're going to put it on right here. I'm going to slide this whole thing forward. There we go. We're going to get this in place. So, you know, this is going to fit. We already have a wheel collar kind of attached to that. It's just sort of sitting there. This is going to slide into place right here. That's all there is to that. And let me zoom in just a little bit. I'll get this a little closer so y'all can see, get a little more centered. There we go. That's nice. And let me grab the tool for that. You need a millimeter or 1.5 millimeter metric to get that in place. Grab that out of here. That should do it. And then I need a 1.5 or 2.5, I think. 2 millimeter. 2 and a 1.5 is what you need. So, all right, here we go. Put that back in place. All right, there we go. Got our tools. So we'll take this out. Let me get 2 of these things. This is what we're going to put in here. Okay. So grabbing one of these, we're going to line up that hole, which I think you guys can probably see if I zoom down in there. I got to zoom so y'all can see that a little better. Let me get into the details. You all can see right in there. There's a little hole right there. So you got to push this shaft in and make sure that thing lines up. I'm going to slide that in. You can see it pass through and get that hole to line up. Once that hole lines up, you drop your screw in and tighten it. That's it. All you got to do. Pop that in there without dropping it. There it is. Take our 2 millimeter metric. Throw that down in there, and that thing should self-align in there. So see if it's grabbing it, and it looks like it is. You don't have to go too tight with it. But once you get it down in there, it's there to stay. You could even put a little bit of, I would not use thread lock, because if it gets on the plastic, it'll make the plastic brittle, and then it can break. So I might even put a little foam tack around the edge of that just to keep it from backing out. But it's tight enough really as it is. And then we're going to pop this thing off. Okay, that's going to come off. And I think you guys saw that. That's just a wheel collar. Beautiful design here on the wheel collar. They did a tremendous job on this thing because they left a D shape to it. So you can't really get it wrong. It's pretty much idiot-proof the way they designed it. It only goes on one way. So I'm going to pop that off, stick that down there. And I'm going to grab the elevator for this thing. And I'm going to slide it on. Just line up the hole right there. Slide that on. And then as you push it in, you've got to tilt it this way so that, hopefully I can demonstrate this, so that you can push this on far enough. Okay, so this thing kind of, let me get it this way. So this kind of inserts into there. So you've got to push it on far enough to make that work. So you can see here I slide it on, get it far enough so it flips into place, and there it kind of acts sort of like almost like a scissor assembly. That's the actual actuator, I believe, for the elevator. That's where in the full-scale airplane there's probably hydraulic actuators in there. So there's a lot of torque, you know, on that. So and a lot of power on that surface. So now as we do that, this is a problem I ran into in my other one. Sometimes it can kind of rub here a little bit. If it does, sometimes you have to modify, do a little work to it. Like mine's rubbing a little here. I'll probably sand this a little bit. But one thing I actually ended up doing was my last one is the shaft right here. I actually put it on a vise and put a slight aft bend just to get this away. Because if this is scraping right here too much, you know, that could bind the servo up. So I don't know why it happens on one side, but it happened on my other one. It was the same thing. So I'll sand this flat, see if I can get it to go smooth through here. And if not, I might actually put this on a vise and do a slight shaft bend on this, which is what I had done with my last one. And it just put a hair bend line. It was easy to do. I know that sounds like it's kind of like, shouldn't really have to do that, but anyway, I ended up doing that. So I just got to tell you guys like it is, because, you know, that is the way that it is. So I'm going to grab one of these set screws out of my parts here, out of the screws that I dumped into my Ernst thing, stick that on there. And then I'm going to put that right here in place. There we go. And then once that's in, which I'm screwing in place there, there it is, I'm going to take that and drop that down into that hole. So notice I had to back this out again, drop this into the hole, and then kind of slide it in with the shaft, with it going on the shaft. You got to kind of finagle this a little bit. And then once it gets on there, you can kind of push this on. You should be able to push this on. And that thing should fit into place. And it should lock in. Just trying to get this, you got to get this to go onto the shaft properly or lined up. So sometimes it doesn't always want to do that. But yeah, let me get that down in there. I don't think I had it far enough in there. Let's see, let's get that to line up. All right. I have to stick my head in front of it to make that happen, because I got to be able to see it. And showing it to you on the camera, I can't always see the darn thing. So let me get that in there. No, it's not quite lined up. Let's back that off. Let's see. Get that out of there. Get that to line up. I think I got it there. Seems like it's sliding on there. Doesn't want to go in there. So this can be kind of a pain. I'm trying to show it to you guys, but also line it up, which I often can't see unless I... There we go. I think that's it. So it should be popping into place there. So let me back off on the screw. Let me pull that out of there, because I'm going to stick my head in the way, and you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing here, guys. So because I need to look down in there and see which way this thing is lining. It's just not liking being in there, is it? Let me pull this out here. Sometimes this kind of thing happens. Let me do another test fit of this. No, it doesn't really. Oh, it's kind of a tight fit that way. Let's try it this way. Maybe it goes on better that way than it goes on this way. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It slides on better this way. All right, let's do that. Let me grab that grub screw or that set screw again. Put that in place. Get that going on there. There it is. That should be pretty good. That should slide on there. There it is. Like I said, it only goes on one way, folks, so you can't really screw this up. It either goes on or it doesn't go on. So let's see, right before I'm looking down there, I have to sight down there, guys, with my head in the way, sorry. And then as we get this in place, that should fit down in there. It should slide. There we go. I think we got it in place now. I can see down in there how it's lining up with that hole, because they did a beautiful job of putting a really nice hole in there. And I'm seeing it's not quite going on all the way. So I'm going to grab myself, let me grab a flat screwdriver. See if I can, hang on, just grabbing a screwdriver here, folks. These can be a little bit of a pain getting these on. Okay, let's do this. Grabbing a flat screwdriver, I'm going to stick down there and help push it on. Thoroughly check it out, trying to lock it in there. Yep, I think that's it. So that's all I needed was just a little shove. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that on there. Make sure it locks in. Make sure it's going in there all the way. And sometimes it looks like it goes in, and sometimes it looks like it's not. Let me see if I can get that. Let me back the screw out. Sometimes you got to back it out and see that it's actually lined up with the hole that it's supposed to be in. There it is. I can see it now. So here, I'll zoom way in. We should be able to see that it's lined up there. So I'll get that in place. And that set screw should go way, way, way down in there. And you'll feel it kind of bite into that hole there. Yeah. Doesn't seem to me like it wants to go in there, though. I'm still having trouble getting that thing in there. me
This
see.
thing had, like,
Let me switch views for you guys.
you know, hey, that's
I'm going to
what I
look
recommend
right
doing
down
is
in there.
kinda go a
See
little
where
bit
that's going. Oh, I see what it's doing now.
Here's
I just have to
one
line it, and this is how you got to do it from the
so you
top
can
down.
see,
Let me see if I can get this
you know, you got, hatch
lined
cover.
up in there.
Again, it's a little airplane, so it's kind of hard to get.
It like wants to go part of the way, but
It's
not
got
all of the way.
corrugations there,
It's interesting.
it's got some panel
I'm going to
lines,
take one of these longer
and,
3
so you go on the
millimeters
flip side, on the underside, and that's
and
where your
try to
crevices,
turn it in there
you know, are going to go. So when
and
you have
use that to
attach
kind of
them,
edge it
it's a
over.
really cool airplane. So, and then let's see the missiles. Let's get to the missiles. There's a bag of missiles on this thing. I don't know if these are side specific. Sometimes.
All right, let's see.
But look at these things. This is neat.
All right, I think that's barely. You know what? It's going in, but I don't think it's engaging that hole. Here, hang on a sec. Let's do this. I'm going to back the whole thing out. This can happen sometimes, folks. Slide that out. Let's get this out of its place.
We'll have it out there and flying it. Don't
This
worry.
needs to go on like that. I'm going to do a test fit without any of that stuff on there.
Very well molded.
Because this thing I know goes farther down in there, I'm pretty sure.
And then,
So let's test fit it without any of that. There we go. And just try to get it to lock. Now, I guess it is going in there. Yeah, no, it is locking. Yeah, it should be about flush with the top of this, maybe sticking out just a little bit. So that might be just deceiving me a little bit. So let's pull that out. That should go in just like that. Slide this on again. Back that off.
And then there's the
There we
other
go.
side again. And you can see there's your points right here for your missiles. Missiles all fit into there. And then it looks like
All right, let's
have it
see.
set up. Oh, they do have it set
All
up.
right, try to get that to cycle in there.
Do they have the plug?
There we go. All right, now it's going in. All right, I can feel it and see it going in there. So yeah, we're good to go. So I'll lock that in place, and that's really it. All we have to do now is just stick a rod
Hang on a second. I'm gonna walk over
on
and
here.
hang on.
Let me zoom out a little bit. You all can see that.
Get off one out of its container.
And angle the camera just a little bit.
It's over here on the floor. Hang on.
So and that's it. We're just going to pop this on. I think it goes in the outer hole, if I'm not mistaken, but
Yep, it
just a
fell
rough
down
fit for
somewhere
today, for now. And we'll pop that in place.
Locate that later.
That snaps right on, and there we go.
Alright,
Now we got a
so
good,
come back, insert
good
your
elevator. We'll do the
missiles.
same to the other side.
Yeah, I don't know.
that
those
one
panels
going
might
too.
actually come off. I'm gonna have to mess with that.
Get my camera in there in the right place.
Let's see,
There it
those,
is.
Yeah, those look like those unscrewed.
And let's see. Somebody's sending me
But
messages.
I don't know if they have a plug.
See what I
in
got
for
going
that.
down.
So I guess you can glue them on.
Somebody calling me?
This is kinda
No,
like they
someone was
modeled this
calling
up
me.
in the
I don't
large
know why.
Corsair.
All right, let's
I'm
see.
gonna switch to the top here.
We're going to
They
take
modeled
this
after the
one,
large Corsair, where there was,
line this one up again.
the same missile.
Make sure the hole, as we can see down in there, it's hard to see here.
I'm kinda
We're going to make sure that
curious if
lines
they
up,
set this up to-
which it looks like it's going right in
No,
there.
they didn't. Okay.
I'm going
I
to drop
thought it
my
was the kinda
small
thing where you
screw
put
in there,
these on, But I think what you do is you can glue your missiles on here, okay?
and that
And
should
then you
line
can
up.
unscrew
Those
the
go
whole
in real
panel and
nice.
take it off. But
Hopefully this
in-
one will go in a
the
little bit
larger
faster.
Corsair, they always had
Let's see how that goes.
a plug in that you could stick
Take
to
my
it
other
and
elevator.
put missiles on
There it is right here.
So,
I'm
I
going to
don't
take
know
this
what
and
they
line
did
it up.
here, but anyway, that's
We'll
just
zoom
kinda
out a
neat
bit.
how they
Stick
did that.
this
So I'm
in
looking in the bag
place.
to see if they have one.
Get the foam off of there. There's a little bit of foam sitting there.
I'm probably not
Let me
gonna have my
see.
missiles on the plane just because I just like to fly with it. We'll do a flight or two hopefully with it, and that's it. So
Hey, what's up?
you always want to exercise your control surfaces, okay? Get them.
Hello? Somebody's calling me. You guys got good sound? Can you guys see me okay? We got 56 viewers. Oh, you got a lot of background noise?
You want to free them up before you have your servos moving.
Are you guys getting audio still?
So they're a little rigid when they're new.
Here, let's see.
Kind of like a new shoe. New shoes are kind of.
How about now? Guys, give me a thumbs up on the audio. Let me know what's happening. You guys are doing okay. Let's see. Oh, background noise. Is that from, what is that from? Somebody's telling me there's background noise going on. Oh, is that, let me turn this off. See if that'll help. How long's that been going on for? Let's turn that off. How about now? Let me know, guys, if there's any background noise going down. Let's see here. I'm not seeing, here, let me go back to this. Let's see. Oh, distracting. You guys got now? Okay. Here, let's see. Oh, it's distracting. All right, sorry about that, guys. Didn't know that was happening. How about right now? Give me a thumbs up. Make sure everybody's cool with the sound. All right, good sound now? Give me thumbs up, guys. I'm just watching. So we should be good to go here. All right, we'll pop this in place. And let's get this in here. All right, let's see. Somebody's sending me messages. Somebody's watching me and telling me what to do. That's better. Yeah, maybe it was another video that was playing that I didn't turn off. So that's cool. All right, thumbs up. Sorry about that, guys. Well, was that totally messed up, or could you guys still hear most of it? Was it like totally jacked where you guys couldn't hear anything? Let's see. Let's get the second one in here. You basically, guys, missed watching me kind of fumble trying to get that stuff on there. It really wasn't fitting on that great. So let's see if I can get this. These pieces can be a pain to get these to slide into place if you're not doing it just, you know, if it's not lining up right, which sometimes they don't. So, oh, video was playing in the background. All right, well, how bad was it? Could you guys hear most of what I was doing? Hopefully it's, yeah, I didn't know that was going down. I should have said something sooner. All right, well, that one went on a lot easier. So there we go. There we go. Now it's okay. Good now. Sorry about that, guys. It was sound of talking sound. Yeah, it probably was my old... I probably left the video running in the background and didn't know it because I showed you guys a couple videos and stuff. So there we go. Sorry about that. All right, this one fits a little better. I might need to sand that a bit, but this one has a nice parallel kind of angle along here. You want to make sure nothing's scraping here. If you got scraping going on here, you want to stop that from going on because you can bind your servo. So, all right, and that's it for that. That's the tail. Okay, we'll pop that back into place. We'll get this elevator on and snap that on, and that's it. We're good to go. Oh, you heard everything just fine. Good. That's good to hear. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Just a little bit of back talking there, a little bit of sound noise in the back. All right. So that's good news because I didn't want to mess the whole video up doing that. Sometimes you get enthralled. Sometimes I get like totally enthralled in doing this that I just kind of like get kind of zoned into what I'm doing, get sort of fixated on it. And there we go. That's how she looks, guys. All set up. Now we're going to get our horizontals on, or verticals on, which are really easy. Again, the instructions tell you to do the horizontals first. Okay, but they're just difficult turning the airplane upside down when you've got to do that. So, and in fact, yeah, see, that being said, I was thinking maybe I'll do the wings first, but that makes it even harder. So, like I said, this plane is a monstrously big airplane when you get it together. I mean, it's huge, so kind of maneuvering it sort of can be a pain. So let me turn this way, and I'm going to try and show you guys how this tail goes on without knocking the airplane over. Actually, I may just go full down on this, and I may just go to a top view so you guys can see. So here's your elevator connection, or your horizontal, or your vertical, how that plugs all in. That's right here. It just all fits in there. That's pretty simple. I'll take one of these. The connection is already, you know, there's your connector there for your vertical, for your rudder. We're just going to pop that in. You see there's a pin right here. And then this just slides right in. So you can see that just goes right into place, okay? And you see how easy that fits. Really, really nice. And in fact, if you guys want to see that just from the other angle here, I can actually zoom and show you guys that, how nice that goes in. So there's our vertical. All right, there's what she looks like. And real simple, real straightforward. This is what I got to do when I don't have a cameraman here, you know. So here, let's go down. That is it, guys. That's how simple that thing plugs in. There we go. I'll slide that forward just a hair, but you can see that's it. You take this, okay, and all your connections are made. You got this front pin right here that fits into place. This rear one, slide that down in, and then your connection right here, your rudder connection is made right there. So with the servo lead, so that just plugs right in. You have to put your hand underneath and kind of press this down in, And then that's it. 2 screws. I'll pop that in place, one in there. I'll put one into here. Let me get this one. This one should be a smaller one, but let me push it down into place a little further. I don't think the hole was lining up that well. There we go. Got to wiggle it a bit. Take my 2mm metric. Let me put this one on first. Get this one into place. Sometimes you got to really press this down, line up the holes a little bit. There we go. It's biting now and going in nice. Same thing with this one. Let's see if I can get this to bite in there. This one might actually be a smaller screw. I might have to use let me look at the, actually before I do that, let me just look at the, pull up my instructions because I might have got the screw size wrong. Let me see real fast. This one's, here are the verticals. No, it shows both of them here to be 16s. So these ones are the little ones down here that I just did with the elevators. These are the 16s. So yeah, I'm using the right one. So here, we'll just go back to that. That's it. It's squeaking a bit because there's paint in there, or it's tapping into there, threading into the metal threads in there. So, but that's it, man. That goes in. That went in beautifully, and you can see what a nice fit. Nice fit, nice finish. It just goes right in there. So very, very cool. So, I'm going to get this other one on. Let me see if I can do this. I might do this from the top view. Let's see, where you guys can see that a little better maybe. And then I can show it to you. You guys can see it. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent. Everybody gets that okay? Again, same deal. I'm just going to slide this on. We're going to get a little shadow view of this, but let me see if I can pop that down into place. See how easy that is. Use 2 of these larger screws. Pop that in there. Let me see if I can. See, I often find myself putting this kind of thing in and then having to tweak this a little bit or push down, get this to fit. So let me press this down into place again. There we go. Just wobble that a little bit. And then kind of just angle this a little bit. All right, let's see. Oh, wow, that's not fitting that good. Let's see. Let's pop that back out. For whatever reason, it's not lining up. I'll just do a quick test fit. Yeah, it's going in tight. They're very tight threads. That's part of the problem. But that's okay. Again, you want it tight. And then if you end up taking this on and off a few times to, assemble or disassemble to transport, because you can take these verticals off easy if you need to transport the airplane somewhere. These will loosen up as you do that if you do that a few times. So let me see if I can grab onto this and push this down. There we go. Get it to line up. I'd actually rather have tight alignments like this than to have them really loose. It's no good when you have stuff like this. It's just loose. So there we go. It's going in nice and tight. Very good fit. Very good fit. There we go. Put this on here. All right, let's see. I'm going to wiggle it a little bit. This one don't want to go in there either. There we go. Again, it takes a little bit of jockeying. I'm wiggling the whole thing around, but now it's nice and tight. So you can feel it when it threads, and that's just kind of what it is. Again, better off being tight than not so tight. So here is where you can really mess up and ding your rudders. Okay, your verticals right up front. And this is flipping the airplane upside down because you can bang those on the front of the tail. The tail of this airplane is so huge. It's so big to maneuver around it. It's kind of hard to do this sometimes without having these things smack into your table. So the reason I'm doing this is just to get the ventral fins on. I probably should have done that before, but I didn't think of it until just now. So here, flip this around again, watching your tabletop, because here's where you screw up those, or can screw up your vertical fins on the table, because you see right there, it wants to hit right here. So you got to really back this thing off if you're going to do this kind of thing. Get it really on the edge of the thing, and then you're good to go. So I should have done that before, but that's why these things, you got to be careful. Those rudders are so tall. Those verticals are so ridiculously long. And the only reason I was showing you this is just to show you the ventral fins. These are so simple to put on, and these are great for taking off and transporting. But you literally just put these on, push them down in. Let me see if I can get that in place. This one's, you know, mine's actually potato chipped a bit. Look at that. It's got a curve. Probably the heat from transporting, probably sat on a boat forever. So yeah, it got a little potato chipped on me, it got a little bent. So I might have to put that out in the sun and heat that up a little bit, get it straightened out. So same thing with the other one. It must have been some heat or something. But so if I have to, I'll just kind of hold that, just sort of flex this thing back, get it into place, and then slide it back. And that's about as easy as it is to get in. But mine are bent. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, but they have a very slight curve to it this way. The whole thing's plastic. Okay, it's not even foam, just a little bit, just this foam inlay in there. I don't know why they just made the whole thing plastic. But, and then the other one, same deal. So I'll go right over to here so you guys can see how I'm gonna get that one on. Just slides right into place. Again, it's a little bit tight. It's potato chipped a bit, but that's just from shipping or something. So, and that's it. I really like the way that those things have that little indexing mark right there. It's pretty cool. I'll try and show you what that looks like. It's this little index mark along here. That's just I guess all the ground crews, or when they're doing maintenance or something, it tells them where the angle of their elevator, you know, the horizontal stab, you know, where it's at the moment or whatever. It's just an index mark. We actually have those on the 757. Only it's just a single index mark. It doesn't really have the whole kind of gauge type thing to it. So, but anyway, we're going to flip this around. Let me get this camera out of the way. Okay, we'll maneuver this around, and there we go. So let me make sure this is centered, so I'm not dropping this off on the ground here. And there we go, guys. You're starting to see this thing and how big and how massive this thing actually gets. You know, you can see really how darn big this thing is. So let's see. Okay, that's good to see. It's telling me I need to do an ad for make money or something, but I don't need to do that. Let's see. All right, we still got 56 guys here. I want to thank everyone again for sticking with me here. Let's see. What do we got? I wish some company would do a twin J-15 flanker. Okay. All right, not sure what that is, but let's see. Let's grab the spar, which is right here. And I've been lately labeling these with paint because I'm always losing my spars. Let's get that on there. We'll get one wing on at a time. Here it is. We'll slap this into place. It's pretty simple. We're just going to slide that on with a tube. Okay. And then if I can zoom in for everybody, I'm going to try and do that. And zoom on in. Let's get there. Hopefully this is lined up already. Here's your landing gear door actuator right here. There's your plug-in for your aileron and your light, because that's all there is an aileron and a light. So we're going to take that and plug it in. Again, I'll check these connections later, make sure they're nice and tight, because I always go through all my connectors. And then there's a really good pocket in here for putting all of these links in, and I'll show you that with the other one. They really did a good job thinking about where these wires are going, because there's such a good pocket for all that stuff to fit into. And actually, if I could show you on the top view, see if I can do that. Yeah, I can probably do that. You guys can see right here, right in here, there's a really good pocket. There's a huge pocket right in here for all this stuff to go in. And then you can very carefully, this thing notches right in there. You make sure all your wires are going in this pocket okay, and it'll guide right in. See how nicely. Check out that fit and finish. It's just awesome. Screws go in from the underside. So, and what I'll do is I'll show you guys the pocket I'm referring to here. As you look right here, this is the other wing, and you can see with these wires, there's a big old, let me back this up. Here we go. There's a huge pocket right here where all of these things fit in right here. So they really did a good job in giving you like a lot of space here, okay, to put all of this stuff down in here. So let's go to the other view here. I'm gonna turn this around. But again, guys, you can see how massive this thing gets, how big it gets. It's a cool plane. So here, let's see. I think I just dented my wing with my fingernail. That's all right. It happens. That's what gray paint is for. Gray touch-up paint. So let me flip this around. I can't wait to get the nose cone on this thing. It looks really good once you get the nose cone on it. All right, here we go. Here we go. That looks like that's set up pretty good. See if we can zoom for everybody. Get in on that. There's our wing. No, the other way. I love that graduated more. I love that. That thing is so cool looking. It's so scale looking. Again, just a thing for the mechanic. So, or you know, for doing some measurements or something of that elevator travel or position or something. So again, I'm just going to put this in. I'm going to pop in my aileron connection right here, aileron and light, because that's all it has is ailerons and lights, no flaps. So fly it pretty much like a delta wing. And then really nice plugins. Let me see if I can go to my top view. Yeah. You got to appreciate how nicely this thing goes together, because it has this nice pocket edge right here, and it has this nice threaded kind of insert corner that fits in there. So, and as you slide this on, just check your wires here, make sure your wires go in, and then all that feeds in. And look how nice this goes in. Boom, it's all in place. And then that's it, folks. You just screw the wings in. So I'm going to put, I'm going to go from here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm underneath the airplane now. And I'm just going to go underneath and put a couple of these screws in. I might be able to flip this and do it, though. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if I can get that done. Let's see. We're going to go out here. We're going to go wide on this. We're going to drop the desk all the way down because I need some room to maneuver this. Like I said, it gets to be huge, this airplane. What a good looking plane though. I mean, check this thing out already. It's just totally cool. Let me go, tell you what, let me drop this down a little lower if it'll go a little lower. There we go. That should help me out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this by the nacelles. I'm going to hold a nacelle because that's about the best place to hold this plane from. I'm going to hold this inverted. Oh, I can't wait to see it flying like that. That's going to be cool. All right, get this right down here. Try not to tear that antenna off. It's on the nose. Try not to dent my verticals. There we go. I got it right on the table. So that's pretty good without damaging anything. Like I said, hard to maneuver this plane without dinging it up when it gets big like this. So, and then we got our wing screws, and that's really about it. Here, let's go close on this. We got, here, I'll do this side first. Just 2 screws. It's amazing how prefab this thing is, how nice of a job they did. So we're going to stick these in here. A couple screws right here. Let me grab the other ones here. I think these are all 16s. I think the only place you use a 10, okay, is in the horizontal stabilizer output shaft is the only place really. So I'm going to stick these 2 on the other side while I'm here and just get this done, even though you guys can't really see that part rather than moving the camera again. And that's it. I'll grab my tool here again. We'll tighten these up, and that should be it for the assembly of this. As you're doing this, if it's not going in, kind of like the vertical, you may have to grab the tip of your wing, and you may need to bang it in a little bit or press it in so this gap right here goes away. Sometimes you got to hold those in to get it to work. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm kind of holding my leg on the back of the engine. There we go. Now it's tapping. So once it taps, you can just thread it. Get it in there. Going in nice. Same thing with this one. I'm going to have to squeeze this in a little bit and get it to go. There we go. Very cool. It's going in nice. I'll get the other 2 in here. Again, squeezing this together, holding it in. Tapping nice. Very nice assembly getting this in there. Now, let's see. That one's not tapping, actually. Let's see. Let's do this back one first. We'll try that. That one's going in nice. Very good. Very cool. Very cool. All right, I like it. There we go, finally. After wiggling all this around and moving it, it does start tapping. Like I said, sometimes you just got to wiggle it, you know, and sort of get it to do its thing. So, and that's it, guys. You got missiles, you got bombs, you got drops, you got all this stuff. So you can take certain of these missiles, you know, and put them all on. You know, they'll all just slide on here. We'll do this probably a little later, but these all fit on there, sliding back. I don't know if these have a side specificness to them. They might. Let's see, that might actually be one for the other side. But yeah, these all go on in different ways. I'll do that towards the end of this thing. So, but let's see if we can get the gear down on this thing. Let me see if I can swap views again. Now that it's all mostly together, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do to the tail. Try to do that without dinging my rudders. Yeah, this thing is just massive, massive. All right, I did that without dinging my verticals. That's nice. That's sort of an accomplishment there in its own, on itself. And yeah, there it is. Big. Now you guys know why I didn't want to assemble this one first. Because once you build this, it's hard to, all the other little planes, it's hard to do that stuff. Something I'm going to show you guys on the tail. Which this is my first time putting this on, but we're going to see how this is going to work out. You can see the tail cone area where that mounts. It has a counterweight in there. You can see right in the back here, there's a counterweight in there, a big lead weight stuck in there. And this tail cone, which actually I'm going to pop off of, actually I'm just going to take this other tail cone off of here so I can show you guys this. Just as a tip, what I did to my other one is that this glues on, or they say it's supposed to glue on, okay? But it makes the airplane quite a bit longer, okay, sticking out. So when you transport it, it sticks out another 5-6 inches. So what I did was I did this, and a lot of guys have done this. I took a singular magnet, you can see right there, and I glued a magnet. Here, let me put that there. I glued a magnet in there with some foam tack, okay? And then when you put this in here, it's a 14 millimeter magnet. It snaps in. So this is from my SU-30 and SU-27, same thing. And that'll hold it on there so you can, see it doesn't even want to come off. You can pull this off for transport. So I recommend doing some array of magnets. I know there's a lot of guys that have put several magnets along here, but I found just this one magnet is enough to adhere really well to that steel weight that's right in there. So I recommend definitely doing that because it makes it easier to transport, because this thing does stick out quite a ways. You know, you definitely sticks out about that much farther out the back. And just transporting in a car, having that little extra is is definitely nice to save on a couple inches of space like that. Again, about 5 or 6. So that's definitely a good way to go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to flip this around and get this so everybody can sort of see this. Let me flip it here so everybody can see the front of this thing and how nice this is. And then let's see here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, and then we're going to get the gear down on this, hopefully. That's the plan. No, there's a 0 there. All right, and that is it. Let's get this over here. What am I running into? I'm running into that. Let's get the nose cone on there, and that's really the last bit. You can see how cool this thing fits on there. That's it. It's on there. Oh, no, don't knock that over. All right, let's see. Let's flip this. Let's go around here. And you guys can see how that nose cone is awesome. That is just so cool. I love just the 2-tone, 3-tone, actually 3-tone paint job of that thing, because the nose cone is a darker color even. So, all right, let's do this. I have got a servo tester set up to see if I can get the landing gear down on this, because that's really about all we're going to do with it. We don't need to really do too much more with it, because it's assembled and that's it. It's ready to go pretty much, except for getting a receiver in it, battery, all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, it's a pretty slick airplane overall. So let me see if I can get that servo tester lined up Let me get that plugged in. See if I can access the landing gear through here. I'm just going to go through the top. Okay. And let's see what we got. Let me find the landing gear lead here. And landing gear, it should have like 3 connectors on it. Let's see, rudder, there's gear B. All right, just trying to find that. Landing gear channel, channel 5. I see a bunch of them. See, there's a single circuit board. You'll see right here. It says 6. I don't know why it says 6, but anyway, it says gear. So the gear, that must be it. So here, let's plug that in. I heard some landing gear cycle. So what we're going to do is I'm going to line this up such that hopefully I can do this without, I'm going to hold on to the airplane, not the nose cone, so I'm not dropping this. And let's see what we can do. All right, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Looks like it just got stuck on the door. You know what it was? The paint was sticking, I think is what it was. Let's drop that one. There we go. There we go, perfect right out of the box. So you got your landing gear there. You know what's really cool about this, folks? What I am really digging is the red doors. You guys can see how nice those red doors are, the red interior. That has something to do with the Chinese. I don't know if they have a special red coating. Usually there's like a zinc chromate or there's something that's a rust inhibitor. They must have something that they coat their doors with that's red. If you guys know what that is, you know, feel free to shout it out. Let's cycle those one more time, make sure everything's working okay. But yeah, those going nice. This one was just sticking on some paint. That's all that was. As I grabbed it, it just kind of unclicked itself. But there we go. Beauty. All right, so let's unplug that now that we got the wheels down. And we can put this thing down on the table finally. And we'll do some missiles and bombs and all that stuff on there. Let me get this up and out of here. Get this massive beast out. I can't wait to go fly this thing. All right, let's get this on its wheels. There we go. And we're going to put this over here. And let's get the nose on there. Get this on here. Let me see if I can fly. Actually, I see the flap. There's a channel labeled flap. There's no flaps on this plane, so that's probably for the speed brake. So let's see if we can do some speed brake action with this. Yeah, there we go. Because it has a speed brake to help slow it down. This is a very slick plane, very clean aerodynamically. So you guys can see the speed brake functioning. So again, that's what the flap lever is, or the flap wire. So just keep that in mind. There's no flaps. I think they just don't have a sticker that says speed brake because there's not a lot of planes that have speed brakes. So real nice battery compartment in here. Everything's all set up just like the Sukhoi was. Just like the Su-27. So let me get this all lined up in place. Let's see. Oh, looks like, oh wow, they didn't glue the battery straps in place. Normally this plane, the battery straps, sometimes they'll get glued into position so you can't slide them. And that's usually often a problem. Let's see. And that is it. I think that's going to fit. It should all go right down in place. There we go. And that is it, guys. Your Sukhoi is done. Let me do this, though. Let me get a battery and throw it in there just because this plane's really light in the tail, or light in the nose without a battery in it. So I don't hopefully knock it off the table here. I'm just going to take a 3200, throw it in the nose for some ballast so it stays on the table better. And then we're going to put missiles on the thing and everything. So let me throw this in the nose because the battery goes way up here. So you don't want to shove it all the way as far back as it'll go, but for the most part, that should keep the nose on the ground. So there we go. All right, very cool. I'm going to check one more thing. I think the lights associated, I think, with the, here, let me just plug in real fast and just double check. Lights, lights, lights. Let me go gear, 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 gear. Let's see. That was those, and then this is hooked up to, it might have been through the flap. Yeah, that's right. The flaps are for the lights. That's correct. So we should have wingtip lights with this plugged in. If it's working light, yeah, because it's got the wing lights and all that, which I don't need to really do a whole lot with right now, but let's try that. Those should light up with that, but that's okay. I'll mess with that later. That's not really critical. I just wanted to see where that came through. So that is it, guys. That's your Sukhoi, or your, I keep calling it the SU-27, but it's a J-10, baby. Truck and bike are definitely a good sized bird. Yeah, they're big. These things are huge when you get them together. So let's see something here. I want to do something on my monitor here. 61 guys watching. Again, I appreciate that, guys, for a Saturday. That's pretty darn good. Let me put some rockets, missiles, bombs, and all that stuff on the airplane. I think these go smallest to largest, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to put them on just for kind of effect. This one has an R on it, so obviously that's going to go on the right side. Let me get on the underside and check this out. Yep, there we go. That's the right side. It's going to go on there like that. Let's see. And then we can get, once I get this all together, actually that one might be for, yeah, that is supposed to go on there. That does say right, doesn't it? Let's see, right side. It seems to be a very, very loose fit to me. There we go. Yeah, it does seem kind of loose. And this one says left, so, but let's put them on. Get them all on there so y'all can see them. I don't know if the rest of these are side specific. I have a feeling that they're really not. Let me see. I'm gonna get this one. Let's go over here. Whoa. Let's see, we'll get this in place. All right. Kind of wish these missiles all had different color. I guess I could paint them with something, but let's see how we get that in place. All right, there we go. That's in place. There we go. Let's try this one here. It should fit in there. There we go. Nice fit. Take the nose cone off to get by. Another thing too, the nose cone comes assembled, but this actually unscrews. So it's got metal threads, okay, to metal on the front of it. You can see brass threads in there. So you can remove that if you want to, if you need the extra space. So here we go. Get that in place, get that on there. I'm going to try to get this one in place. Let's see here. There we go. I'm not going to put the ones on the underside of this thing. I'm just going to snap those on. Again, I don't think these have anything that's side specific. I think they're just, there's two that go underneath that I'm not even going to bother with. So, and those are just a pain in the neck to get on and off. So just not even going to deal with those. Let's see. I'll just put these in place. I do like the fins. The detail or the color on the missiles is really, really nice. You know what? I might be able to put those on the underside. Let's see when I get this, get a little closer here. All right, and then we can kind of maneuver this around a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. Pull these missiles. All right. Let's see. Let's get these things out of here. I'm going to move all this stuff here because I think we're about done, guys. That is it. I don't think there was anything else that goes. This is where you just put your receiver. You know, you put your battery in. Trim it, tune it, and go. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the elevator position that they tell you about in the manual is incorrect. I think I'll report on that as I fly, but I'm going to show it to you just to reiterate it. I don't think that this part is correct. Here, I'll flip to it. It shows right here that this side elevator right here, elevator is supposed to line up with that marking on the side. Okay, and then you can see that marking right here. Okay, and that's what this is showing you. You have this little mark right here where it says the elevator is supposed to line up right here. And I'm pretty sure that that's not correct. Like it says it's supposed to line up perfectly with that. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually supposed to be down a bit like this, where it's right on the edge of that for the starting point, okay? 2 millimeters is the center line of this, is supposed to be below this panel line right there, so something more like that, where it's actually just touching the edge of that, and that's supposed to be the neutral point. So I don't know why, but this is the older, I think this is like an older manual, and I don't think that's correct as a starting point. So anybody that gets the SU-27 or happens to get one of these things, these J-10s, keep in mind, that's not, I don't think that's the center point, so just keep that in mind. Or the neutral position, I guess you could say, for where the elevator is supposed to actually start at. So here, we are done, guys. I am just going to go ahead and pull this stuff all off of here, just so we can kind of peruse the airplane here a little bit and let everybody see it sort of without all this caca on here, this garbage. I've got so much stuff on this table. I don't want to roll it off the table, but here, let me see if I can put the tail cone on too. I want to roll it off the table here. But yeah, this is a sweet, very sweet plane, folks. Let me lift that up so I can see we're not dropping the nose off the table. But there you can see how this thing looks, you know, fully assembled. You know, how nice it is. The zoom, no. There we go. Let me get here. I'll put the tail cone on so you guys can see that. See, with the tail cone on, you can see how big that is. I'm looking at the wheels, make sure I'm not rolling up there. You can see how this thing, let me roll this out a little bit. I should have done that. That's my bad. You can see right here the tail, how far this thing sticks out. It sticks out a good 5 to 6 additional inches. So you don't want to glue that on if you can avoid it. Try to put magnets on that thing so you can remove that and transport it better, you know, easier. But yeah, man, that is the SU-27, man, or the J-11 here, the Chinese version of this thing. And you can see the, try to get that over here so everybody can see how that looks. Raise that up. But yeah, very, very cool airplane. We'll be getting some afterburners in this. It's probably going to be the 5280 burners, because like I said, I got a pair of Ray Guniacs in my F-14 that everybody's been seeing all the way around, and I'm trying to show a gambit of burners. And in the SU-27 back here, I went ahead and I put the KMRC burners, and I think this one I'm going to put the 5280s in because I'm trying to show a diverse, you know, kind of group of burners in all of these airplanes. So, so you can kind of just get an idea of which burners look like what in these different airplanes. So I don't have the same burner in every single plane. So because that's what I'm always trying to do, is show you guys new stuff, show you guys, you know, what's different, so you don't always see the same thing all the time. So, but real impressive, guys. I like it. It's very, very cool. You gotta. Hopefully, you never know. Maybe we'll end up seeing one of these here pretty soon. You know, you never know. We maybe something we get to buy here, because I do remember way back when we first did this SU-27, this was something I was going to do some filming for the Chinese market plane, and then it turned out such that, you know, you can get this now. So again, right now we should be able to see it. We'll let you guys know when you can actually get it from, I think, FMS and Fair RC. But for now, you can get this right now, the SU-27, the blue one, at my Amazon store. So check that out because it's right there. So and that link is you know, just below. So for my Amazon store. Let's see, definitely good sized bird. All that detail and nav lights. Yeah, you know what? Let me try to fire those up because it's got the landing lights. I know that, but the nav lights, those are supposed to be. Oh, wait a minute. It's the ailerons. That's what it is. Let me go. I don't know what I was thinking. Here, let me see if I can throw on. And in fact, I'm going to take this Y harness. Okay. Let me plug this into the gear. Try not to. The gear shouldn't do anything if I don't move. Yeah, that's the operative word, it shouldn't, right? Nope, there it is. That's what I thought might happen. What the heck is that? I don't know what, that was one gear going up. All right. Let's get that going down. Get them going up. Hang on. Always be ready when you do that. There we go. Excellent. All right, so what I was trying to do was not have it collapse. I kind of thought that might happen. That's why I was ready to grab it. But I put a Y harness on here, and I'm going to try to go, if I can find the ailerons, which should be sitting right here. Shouldn't really be that much of a mystery. There's the rudder. There's the elevator. Rudder, aileron, elevator. No, where's the... Because the ailerons are hooked up to the wing lights. That's got to be it right there. No, that's a twin. No, I don't think that's it. I got elevator. I've got throttle. I've got rudder. I've got flap. We know what that one does. This one looks like that's speed control. But how come I'm not seeing an aileron wire? Maybe that fell in there or something. Hang on. So I was trying to light those things up for you, but I'm not seeing an aileron line anywhere. This is BEC. This is throttle. This one is, this is flap. Everything, but because the lights are hooked in through the ailerons, you know, so the wing lights. Throttle, it probably just fell back in here. I don't want to plug it into this twin port because I can end up frying something if that's not the right. No, yeah, see flap. I think that's throttle. This is rudder. This is gear. And this is elevator. That's throttle. So this one has to be aileron. That makes sense. So if this one's labeled throttle, this one's probably the aileron. So that should, if all goes well. If there's smoke, I was wrong. Let's see. All right, there we go. Okay, so there's your wingtip lights, guys. You got your red light there. We have, you can see probably here, a green light on this side. And you've got your landing lights there. And your ailerons are deflected because I've got them, because they're plugged in right now. So can't really do a whole lot about that. Let me do, let's do this without the, because I don't want to burn out those ailerons. Let's do this. Let me unplug that for 1 second. We'll do a little bit of lighting. Turn the lights off. Still got to get a remote control for that. Here, let's see. Go back to, go back onto this. Here we go. All right. So there you go. Got your landing light on. And then I'm going to go over here. This is just out of the darkness here. See your landing lights? Really cool with that red door. The red door is cool. Again, that must be some kind of Chinese, you know, I don't know, weatherproofing or something that they use. It corrosive, anti-corrosive thing. And then here, there's your wing lights on this side and that side. Yeah, see, I'm wiggling it and the connection's not great. So let's see, she's calling me. All right, so I'll come get her in a bit. I got to pick up my daughter from tutoring. So let me braze this up, and you guys can see how this looks with the lights. Again, you got your green over here that's super bright, your red over there that's super bright, and your landing lights. So you guys get a good view of how the lighting is on this darn thing. So I don't want to move it around too much because I got wires hooked up to it and too much stuff going on. So anyway, let me unplug this, unplug the lights. I'll give you a little, like I said, just so you guys can see the landing lights and the wing lights and all that kind of stuff, the nav lights. Get around this thing. All right, it's like an obstacle course going through here. We get the lights back on here. Bloop. There we go. And that is it. So, all right, lots of boxes here. Yeah, definitely got to do a box clean out. Box purge is about to happen here. So, all right, guys, that is it. Any other questions? Anybody want to ask me anything else or go into anything else? We've been doing this for about 3 hours, a little more than that. And we've got this thing ready to go pretty much, other than I just got to hook up the receiver, get it trimmed and tuned. The entire thing assembled with, you know, the elevators went on with 2 screws and 2 set screws. Verticals went on with 4 screws total. Wings went on with 4 screws. You're done. So I do recommend magnets on the tail. The nose already has magnets, so that's good to go. And you know, you never know. Maybe we'll end up seeing one of these here soon. Again, the SU-27 is available now. Just check it out at my my store below, the Amazon store. It's available there, and we'll let you guys know when it's going to be at FMS Model and at Fair RC. So it's coming here pretty soon, so you'll be able to get that. But that is it, folks. Let me lower this just a little bit. We got to see the Zero today. We got to see the CORSAIR today. And both all really nice models. We're going to get these out flying them as soon as we can for everybody. So I just got to get a 4-channel receiver in this and fly them, get them tuned and all that. I'll be changing my clevises and I'll report about that. And but both real nice models. I mean, really nice little airplanes. So, and I think that's it, guys. I think we're going to wrap this up. I'll take any questions you guys have. I'll take a look at the chat log here and see if anybody else has anything else. Let's see. Will Turbines RC have the J-11? You know, that's a good question. I'm honestly not sure. The J-11, again, was sent just for me to make some videos of, and it was unique. So I kind of asked for one, and they're kind of nice. I mean, they're, you know, I've been kind of testing out the FMS models for a long time now, for well over a decade. So, you know, it's neat to see a unique kind of plane like this. And like I said, the Sukhoi, same thing. The blue one, I always liked that color. I just thought it was very cool. So, and you guys can get it now. I was kind of hoping if I showed some of these off, it might be kind of a deal where we start seeing them here, and we are. So we're kind of trying to bring them to you if we can, if you know, if they can show you some of this stuff. But again, guys, just a Chinese market only for now. You know, I just wanted to show it all to you. Just give you guys something a little bit different to look at. I've always loved this this model. My logo. If you guys look down at my logo with the airplane, that's an SU-27 on my logo. So I always thought it was a very sharp looking airplane. I'd love to see the SU like 37s, you know, with the canards and stuff. I'd love to see a canard version of this from FMS. I think that'd be pretty sweet too. So anyway, let's see what we got. I'm trying to read. Let's see. EDFs get your heart beating, definitely. Let's see. Single front landing gear door scale. Looks like it not be bad front rudder. Looks like it would act like a bad front rudder, maybe a little bit. Hey, I'm on my live show. What's up? I'll go get her. Or do you want to pick her up? I can get her. Yeah, I can go get her. I'm just trying to finish this up. Yeah. What's that? You want to go get her for me? No. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Oh, I got to pick up my daughter from tutoring, guys. She's over there doing that while I was doing this. So I got to leave here shortly. So let's see. Let me see what I got for the messages. I'm trying to read the last of the messages. It says here. Hi, Rich. Bring it to the field on the 12, and don't forget to bring the planes you will like to sell. Yeah. Oh, Victor's got a show on the 12th. You know what? I'm supposed to do 3 things on the 12th. I take that back. 4 things. No, 3 things. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do them. I'll explain that later. Yeah, no, I'd love to bring this. I'd bring the Sukhoi in a second. But let's see what's going on. There's stuff happening that weekend that I may or may not be able to get out of. So we'll work with that kind of as we sort of go along. But Victor Poport's here over at the Osceola Flyers field. So a lot of stuff going on that weekend. A lot of guys flying there. So let's see. Hello to Amy. Wreckham Roy says, hello, Amy. Amy's going to be here, not for this episode, but she's going to be doing like a Amy's Car Corner or Amy's Crawler Corner thing where she's going to be doing some crawler stuff because she digs the cars. She loves the airplanes, but she really digs the cars too. So she's going to be doing some special kind of unique FMS cars to show everybody. So anyway, stay tuned and we'll get that. And I think that's it. Let's see. Christopher Estrada said, another great stream. Keep up the great work. I appreciate everybody coming. Like I said, having this many guys come on the weekend is pretty darn awesome. I mean, we've had quite a few guys show up to watch this and stuff. And I just thought it would be a unique plane to show everybody, give everybody something different to see instead of like the same old stuff we see everywhere. And yeah, this is a bad to the bone airplane for sure. So like I said, it's kind of like the Firefox. I see the dark gray color, and it reminds me of the Clint Eastwood Firefox movie or whatever. Seeing a Russian fighter plane that's a dark color, but anyway, it's cool to look at. So. All right, guys, I am going to sign off. I want to thank everyone for coming and checking this out. My camera's getting in the way here, so is my P-51. So if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. We'll let you know when we have new videos coming out. Also down below, any of the links you use supports our channel at no cost to you guys. So our channel's totally free. We don't even do Patreon because it just doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it's something I really want to do right now. Maybe later we'll do Patreon or something like that, but because I don't do this consistently enough, just because of work and stuff, it's hard to do that kind of thing. But let's see. Thanks, Rich, for recommending Turbines RC. I ordered an FMS 90 Viper China version from them. Received it last week. Yeah, Turbines RC is awesome, guys. They're a great sponsor to have, and they're a great place to buy stuff from. The guys there, Florent is super awesome, and they are super cool to get stuff from. So let's see. What does it say? Received in a wink. They are fantastic people and highly recommend them. Yeah, they are. So Fabrice, it's Fabrice and Florent, the two guys there that you can talk with, and they'll get you what you want. So, and I hear their shipping prices are really pretty awesome. So, but anyway, you guys can get things through Turbines RC through my link down below. Even if you're in Europe, if you use my Turbines RC link and you want to support me, it won't cost you anything. Just use the links. Use the Turbines RC links down there. And if you don't have one specifically, contact me. I'll make you a link, and you can just click on it and go through there. And again, that supports our channel. So please like, subscribe again, guys. Send our videos to other people. Just post them places for other people to see. Say, hey, Rich did a good video on this. If you share it around and post it places, that gets our video out. So and people, that really helps us kind of grow and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. Thanks to FMS Models for the airplanes for the show. All the 800s, we got more stuff coming. I'll get that T-28 video out that Amy and I filmed the other day. That'll come out real soon, and we'll have more stuff coming. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate y'all coming by on a Sunday, and we'll see y'all next time.